All right. Peace to the family. Peace to everyone out there. I was backstage waiting. Oh, first of all, I hope y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. My mic is plugged in. I always want to make sure y'all can hear me before I start speaking. Can y'all hear me? I'm assuming y'all can, so I'm gonna keep talking. Y'all let me know in the chat. But yeah, I don't. I'm waiting for Aseer. I hope the brother's all right. Um, I sent him the link. I just texted him. Well, I texted him a couple of minutes ago. But yeah, I don't. I was just backstage and I seen it said a 9:10, and I'm like, damn, we 10 minutes. I want to go in there and let the people know that I am here. But yeah, I just I don't know what happened to the brother. I'm sure the brother will be on soon, or the brother will let me know what's up. But what's going on with y'all? Oh man, tonight. Oh man, the topic tonight, destiny swapping. That's a good thing. Yeah, somebody said he's on another podcast. I think that's recorded. That's not live. That's recorded. I'm assuming that's recorded. The link is putting me in the very okay. He just said the link is putting me. I don't know. Yeah, but hopefully we could get started soon. Get this thing going soon, family. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a real dope. He said it's not letting me in. I don't know. I don't know how that's the case. Let me send him another link. Hold up, he's having difficulties with the link, family. Let me send him another link. Let me send the brother another link, family. Yeah. Hopefully he's able to figure this out. Um, Let me see. Is that? Let me tell him to use Chrome, the Chrome browser. Pardon me, family. Yeah, apologies on the yeah. Yeah, that's a recorded. Y'all keep saying I don't think that's recorded. That's not when you see on the bottom it says premiere, that's recorded. It's not live. It's like a recorded video that you're just premiering on your channel live, but it's not like live. But shout out to King Simon in the chat. Somebody said, "Are you still doing the AI music and movie show?" Yo, thank you for reminding me on that. Thank you for reminding me on that. I gotta yeah, I gotta send out the call and see how people respond. But yes, I definitely am still. And thank you for reminding me of that because I could get so caught up in so many different things. Thank you for reminding me of that. But yeah, I will. That's something I definitely want to implement sooner than later. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me of certain things, family. Sometimes I forget certain things. Got so many things going on. But somebody says still sent yeah, the cigars is donation based. Here go the brother right now. So I'm gonna let the brother. We gonna let the brother. Uh, Somebody said, where did I get the shirt? Yeah, somebody actually gave me this shirt. Shout out to at the it was actually at the event Aseer was at like 2 years ago. I believe it was that event. I forget, but Yeah, brother had gave me the shirt, and I was like, oh shit, I got there's a picture of me on it with the cigar and the green and the emerald chains, and it say Big Face 100. So shout out to that brother who gave me the shirt. Definitely appreciate it. My brother I see is in the back right now. I see my brother's in the back setting his camera. But shout out to all of y'all. Yeah, what about the radio? Yeah, the radio is on and popping. Y'all seen the commercial I posted today? It's on and popping, and we're gonna get that going. We're gonna get that going sooner than later also. So stay tuned for that also. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's gonna be a great show tonight, everybody. Great topic. Let me see how my brother looking in the back. Yeah, my brother's still getting it together. Let's see how my can you hear me, my brother?
Islam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I got you. Can you see me?
Yeah. You hear me, right?
I do.
Great. Yeah, you good to go, brother.
Excellent.
Dang,
Had me in like that verification loop. I don't know what's up with that shit.
Yeah, that happens sometime.
Yeah.
That has happened to me when I went on somebody else's show before. So definitely.
Yeah, same thing with me, man. I was bugging. I'm just glad we're back in.
Indeed. How's everything, my brother?
One day at a time, my brother, one bell at a time. You know how it is.
Indeed. Let's start out while everybody gets situated and come on in. Let me play something for y'all real quick and let my brother Aseer gather himself a little more. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Excellent.
But that was just the day the theater opened. You a landlord living in a fictitious reality.
They tried to swap our destiny, bro. Took our names, our flags, our timeline, added fake years to the clock so they could say we late to our own story.
But see, you can't be late to something you built. This been our board. We just finally sitting back down at it.
You a landlord living in a fictitious reality.
Why you think they erased our names off the temples?
Why they flipped the clock 1,000 years just to steal our seat?
Because they know once we wake up, it's checkmate, not debate.
Listen, they've been trying to swap our destiny for a minute. Took our names, our history, our birthright, then stretched the timeline 1,000 years so it looked like we late to our own story.
The fictitious jurisdiction done expired. That 1,000-year temporal spell of 1582 is broken, and the mass humanity coma is over.
Y'all better not miss tonight's show on 363 Empire. Aseer the Duke of Tears breaking down the real history of the so-called African American.
That was fire, y'all. What happened to us? What's going on here? Let me bring my brother back to the stage. So, family, without to officially announce, I didn't make the official announcement bringing my brother on. I want to welcome back to the platform and for so-called 2026. Known this brother a long time. And it's good to see him still doing the good work. In this so-called new year, we still doing our thing. And to see what's going on around us, I had to have this conversation with my brother, none other than Aseer the Duke of Tears. Welcome, Aseer.
Peace, my brother. Peace. Thanks for having me on, man.
Indeed. Selena, what's good?
What's going on? I'm just getting my products on the table. I'm gonna be the silent mob in the back.
I hear you. Yo, Aseer, man. So, me and you had a conversation yesterday, and I was just talking about, we was talking about everything going on, even in Venezuela, and the Black people's presence in South America, hundreds of years ago, and we was talking about what's going on in America, and I find it quite interesting. Aseer, I've known you for a long time. We've both been in this movement for a long time. And I've seen a dramatic shift in people's approach to consciousness and who they are in terms of like Pan-Africanism, in terms of how they feel about this country, how they view this country. And I mean, the change in consciousness is so sharp, it threw a lot of people off. Now, you, my brother, one thing I will say, I remember I seen you and your queen 16 years ago on the motorcycles with feathers in your hair.
Remember?
So I remember you having the feathers. I remember you doing that 60 years ago. But
Exactly.
see the whole world, the whole country, so many Black Americans follow that direction. It's like, wow, oh shit, what happened? Like, damn, everybody's embracing America, and it's like it's big. You could feel the energy in the air. And one thing that I is strange is not only historically they try to destiny swap us here in this country, but I seen this on the internet and I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, I'm like, it's nonstop when them trying to cosplay us or pretend they're like us, or they always have eyes on us. Let me play this. Let me play this to show everybody what I'm talking about real quick.
Okay.
This past week, the new Twitter update dropped, and shout out to Elon. He might have did his big one because now Twitter is showing account locations, and many of the Black pages on Twitter that spread anti-Black rhetoric and contribute to gender wars are being exposed for being based in India and East and South Asia. Accounts that got exposed are MAGA accounts, so-called American political accounts, large hip-hop pages, fake Black American accounts, catfish influencers, and various bot accounts. And these pages weren't just trolling for fun. They were leading narratives, creating fake diaspora beefs, starting gender wars, pitting Black women versus Black men, spreading stereotypes, and launching misinformation. And the thing is, people have been calling it out for a minute now, but it's cold hard facts now. They're literally weaponizing Blackness, pretending to be Black Americans, grifting inside the culture, and rage baiting their way into US politics from countries they're not even from. This update might be the best thing to happen on Twitter since Elon acquired it. Someone said Black oppression is a global operation. And boy, is that true. We're in an era of digital blackface. And the most interesting thing I find about this whole situation is that they have to put Black people at the center of their chaos because they know that's the only way they'll get engagement. Why is that?
All right. Let me take this down. Let me see. What do we do? Yo, so I said, check this out. So this is like in my mind, I'm like, you know, sometimes you think you bugging out, but I'm like, hold up. We got people in Asia. We got people in Africa, Nigeria. We got people in Europe. We got people all over the world with pages like Black Barbie and these big hip hop pages. So the whole world is running around in digital blackface, pretending like they're Black Americans, starting gender wars, starting all types of beefs, acting like they support MAGA, acting like they support the Democrats. And I'm like, yo, why is everybody so infatuated with Black Americans? And when you say that, you like, oh, people gonna think I think a certain way. You know, you might think you sound arrogant saying that, but it's facts. Why the hell is the whole world infatuated with Black America to the point where there's global digital blackface epidemic taking place where and Elon Musk exposed all of it on Twitter? But we're gonna have a good conversation. I said, what the hell is going on with us in America? We are awake. Like I said, you can feel the energy in the air. What's going on, I said, with all of this, my brother?
Well, brother, as you kindly said, when you are ahead of the curve, you always receive the brunt of the blowback. You know what I mean? And from when I first came, me and the Queen first came on the scene, I was always about understanding our connection as origines. I like the term origine or Tonkin more than Aboriginal. You know what I mean? Not saying that Aboriginal is wrong, but the term ab is ambiguous. Ab could mean like father, but it can also mean like other or not. You understand what I'm saying? Like abnormal, like abnormal, abstract, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you put ab in front of original, you could just say original. You know, the only Aboriginal nation in the world is in Australia. They're the only ones in the world with a passport that says Aboriginal nation. So as Autochthones or originaries of the land from the soil, I, like many others, was coming into the understanding of Moorish science and the so-called Old Moorish Empire, and how it is specifically and empirically the last ruling world empire of melanated people, right? And what they had done at the time we was coming into the game was that the Pan-African thing was the big thing, right?
Right.
The Pan-African thing was a scam, right? And it was initiated by scammers like Jesse Jackson, who himself is a so-called Cherokee Indian, right? So when we were in the game and understanding that as Moors, we were and are the original people of North Central South America, and on the global diaspora, we as melanated people are the original people of every continent on the planet. I didn't find any distinction between my personal like Yamasi, Chickamauga, Washoe indigenous heritage based upon my great-great-grandmother, my great-great-grandfather, you know what I'm saying? Me being able to trace my lineage all the way back, you dig? So I never saw a distinction between that and being Moorish, but it wasn't, or being a Moor, right? Moorish or Moorish, right? Everybody say, well, ish mean like. No, it don't. Ish means of or denoting a nationality. You understand? First and foremost, you can get the oldest or any dictionary will tell you that. However, we have been inundated by a bunch of cosplayers that have been trying to literally destiny swap and get us to associate our identity genetically with another group of people who aren't as old as us. You understand? Like, so in coming up in the community at a time where everybody is on this, you know, Africa kick, but then nobody want to move to Africa, right? I started to see that there was some sort of chicanery going on with that. And the more I investigated, you know what I mean, over the years, I started to see that the way that I represented myself was almost challenging to a lot of the people in the so-called community that was getting money off the hustle. You understand what I'm saying? And I found it very disingenuous that the more and more I got into understanding who the Moors were as a universal people, and specifically as the true inheritors of North Central South America, right? I started to see that the more I would do different things to help expose that, the more people would try to use words like pseudo and not real, and oh, you hate yourself, or oh, you really are descended from Africa. And then when we start then dissecting the whole transatlantic slave trade, and none of these Negroes could show me no slave ships, or show me no real manifests, or show me nothing of substantiality, right? But they could show me dinosaur bones from over 3 million years ago, right? Where nobody was at. So how you know how to put these bones together? That type of stuff started really getting on my nerves. So I started to really go heavy and started to really understand that there was a concerted effort in keeping our people here in the Americas blind, deaf and dumb to who they really are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I started to realize again that the African diaspora was really just imposed on the so-called Black Americans, right, between the years of 1969 and 1989. And then there was another heavy push to get us to go back or to identify as African between 1989 and about 1995, right? So around 97 is when I started to really get knowledge of self, right, myself personally. And at the time, I've told the story before, my grandmother, blessed the day, she at the time was dealing with a Gambian, right? Now, my grandmother is, at that time, my great-grandmother at the time was like maybe fifth, sixth, or whatever generation up from Louisiana, right? She was the first ones from deep Louisiana, a place called Montville, that moved all the way up to Brooklyn, right? In like the late her mother and her father brought her up around like the late 30s and 40s. So by the time of the 50s and 60s, when my mother's generation was coming up, that was the generation they started to really inundate. And this was all around the same time that the Civil Rights Act was being imposed on everybody by other scammers like Michael Luther King, you know what I'm saying, aka Martin Luther King, who himself, his wife, was also of Cherokee descent, you know what I'm saying? But they're pushing this whole Black Americans and that after that movement, after they were killed, they started to really push this whole identity through the 70s about us going back to Africa. And everybody remember grew up at that time when they used to have those old school like velvet paintings with the blacks with the afros. And when you turn on the black light, it would be like iridescent and all that type of shit. Like that was part of the push when they started bringing out dashikis, right, and Afro picks and all that stuff. But when you start to do the knowledge to where all that stuff was coming from, none of that stuff was made by so-called Americans. Most of them Afro picks was made in China. Most of them dashikas was made in China. You understand what I'm saying? And they happen to be influxed into our communities around this time when you had groups like the Symbionese Army, the Black Panthers, these types of people who were really pushing this whole transatlantic slave narrative, which then was exacerbated by other scammers like Alex Haley, who created the whole Roots phenomenon.
That was a big one.
Book by an African called The African, right? And we know that that's true because when he died, his estate was not able to get any of the copyrights to that. The copyrights to Roots went to a Jewish man named Levinson. You could look that up. So this is when I started to research people like a Jewish man named Hershkovitz, then another one named Melville. These are the guys that created books like the African Myth. He also created another book called The Whole Afrocentricized Movement. This was part of the psychological agenda to disassociate us from the land here in America by creating a fictitious operation that spanned about 30 or 40 years here in America. Because when you go to Africa and stuff, they don't have any stories really about their people being sold over here. It's only when they get here that they have to start adopting that so that way they could get part of the money that was going to a lot of the people who were receiving funding from these clandestine governmental organizations that had a vested interest to divest us from our ancestral blood tied to the land. So coupled with the artificial injection of shaming people who would say things like, yo, my grandmother used to tell me I got Indian in my family and things like that. That started to be a almost like a joke, right? But
you're right.
Those things were actually true. The only problem is when you use misnomers like Indian, African, Negro, Black, colored, right? You start to move into a space where you are no longer seen as an individual, not an individual, but an individuum, which is someone who has an ancestral tie that is non-linear to a specific landmass, right? And so this became the disassociative disorder that they started to impose on our people through a lot of these so-called Pan-African, Pan-scammers who started to perpetuate these lies and started to create more stories and TV shows, you understand, to help further inundate us with this type of victim mentality. Because up until the so-called civil rights movement, we was doing great. We had our own communities. We had oil wells. We had schools. We had movie theaters. We had all types of situations, right? To the point that we were making so much money between, let's say, the end of World War I and II, because a lot of those soldiers that were going over to fight, whether it be the Spanish-American War, whether it be the World War I, World War II, what they call these things, we were sending so much money back to our women that our women was living in laps of luxury. You understand? Where do you think that the Harlem Renaissance, where do you think all them people was getting all that money from? Because there was these brothers that was over there fighting, and they were creating industry, and they had patents, and they had all this type of stuff, and none of them was from Africa. They was all from here. You understand what I'm saying? And our women was living so good that the Caucasian women saw this and petitioned their men to, in a sense, find a way to get them to be put up so that way we can be behind them. And then thus around 1945, at the close of the war, the psychological operations began, where they started to send, what do you call those people? Government agents to different women's houses while the men were away, and started to offer them benefits and stuff like that, that they would eventually take, right? So that way they could then become dependent upon the system. And once they were dependent upon the system, they then would then tell the women that there was a so-called no man rule, where they couldn't have no man in the house. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Which then started to create the divesting of our families, because the strongest thing in this country is the original man, the original woman, the original child together in one unit. That is referred to, that's why it's referred to as the nuclear family. The nuclear family existed before nuclear bombs and stuff like that, because we were the nucleus of the American society, you understand? That perpetuated such excellence that everybody in the world wanted to be down with us, because we were constantly creating different industries in which we had the primary finger on the pulse of what was going to produce what would become worldwide known as Americana, the so-called American culture. While these white people was languishing in poverty, you understand what I'm saying? Abject poverty, you know what I'm saying? Living in dirt farms. Remember the Dust Bowl era, where these white people had over farmed the land because they didn't know how to use it, because none of these niggas was from here. They were imported here on ships through the transatlantic so-called Slav trade, because they were the Slavs. That was not our history. Our history was tied up in things like the Chickamauga Confederacy, or the Anasazi Confederacy, or the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, or the Washita Empire, or the Dugdamandia, or the descendants of Karala and the Powhatan, excuse me, I always pronounce it wrong, the Patuan Empire that spanned all the way from what they call the mines in Mexico all the way up to Virginia. You understand what I'm saying? So the need to divest us from our true Moorish so-called indigenous history was very much needed in order for the whites, the interlopers, the usurpers, and all of the other abject nations that were in poverty at the time to come here and basically take control. And that's what they did, because they had people that looked like us helping them. You understand? And this has been going on since I-492, what they call 1492, in which we, right, the original people, were invaded over the course of 250 years by the 6 or 7 nations from what they call Europa and West Asia, right? There is no Europe. There's only Asia. You understand? It became Europe because they needed to manufacture an identity for these people who had none. You understand what I'm saying? So they tell you things like, oh, well, the white man came and we look like this because the white man raped your grandmother, so that's what made you light skin. Really? Really? That's what y'all believe? So you believe that a recessive gene can overcome a dominant gene? Where in any form of reality is that true? It's not. So that's another scam that they created, right? When really what happened was, after they got you to divest from your true nationality, what they started to then do was take what you left behind and give to these people, right? Through acts of paper genocide. There's reports of the French, the so-called French people, actually creating fake manifests, fake ships, right? Where they would go into a town, see how many people was there, and they would create fake manifests, say, okay, there's 1,000 people here. We're going to create a fake manifest for a ship. Let's call it the Mayflower. and we're going to say that this ship brought 1,000 people over here, which happens to meet these people. So then what we're going to do is we're going to say that these people who live here were the people who were on these slave ships. So this gives us a right to go into their town, lock them up, kick them out, take the land, and then literally walk into your house, put your pictures away, right? Then they take pictures, dress like you, acting like you, and now they adopt your name. So now this nigga becomes Mr. Johnson. And now the Johnson name, which is an old Moorish name or old Yamasee name or old Creek name, becomes a slave name. Why? Because the slave adopted it, right? But just because you adopt something, that doesn't mean you birth something. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. So that then means that, again, we're dealing with another scam. And what is constantly happening to us is we're constantly being scammed by people who were down with the destiny swap, namely the Africans. If we go back in time, right, when one of the first waves of invasions, when the Canarios, who are literally the dog people, right, people who were inflicted with lycanthropy, for people that don't know what that is, that's when you have hair that spontaneously grows all over your face and your body, right? Those people who are Rh positive, who have that trait, were literally created, which is why we refer to them as mankind. The old Egyptians used to refer to them as the Tamahu. Some African tribes refer to them as the Magunza, right? We call them the devils, right? But regardless to what and who they are, this is the peoples who were used as beasts of burden to come over here and literally attack men, women, and children, right? Literally not only kill them, but then eat them. They used to try to eat us, okay? Go back and read the book, The Delectable Negro.
Yep, yeah, Delectable Negro.
Go and read the book, The Dogs of God, okay? Go and read the book, there's another good one, The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. Go read these books, right? And what you will find is that the people that we fell to was not even them. It was people that looked like us. You understand? There was no Caucasian people in power up until the 1900s. What we were dealing with was a bunch, again, of destiny swappers. People who, after a certain time, decided that they needed to have what we possessed naturally. Which is why nobody could come here if it wasn't for us coming here. But what happened was you had a group of dirty Moors, right, from antiquity, who between the age of, let's say, I-312 all the way up to I-1400 or I-400. I'm using I instead of 1 because there is no 1,000 years. The 1,000 years was the fake scam put on us to give them an extra 1,000 years while they subtracted 1,000 years from us. These niggas didn't exist. What we had was Moors over here who were already at a certain level of sophistication and understanding decided that they were going to go and follow the ancient trade routes left to us by our ancient forefathers, who we could refer to as the Chaldean Empire or the Chaldeans, or what they refer to as the Phoenicians, right? Or the Carthaginians, right? Carthaginian or Cartho is just the English pronunciation of it. What it was referred to back by then, what they referred to themselves as the Cart Hadid, right? Or the Cart Hadid, which was translated by the Romans into Carthage. You understand? These Romans that we're talking about, they're not even white neither. These are melanated peoples who were exiled to that part of the world and stayed there until we, or elements of us, decided to expand the empire and go back there and check them. And when they did that, they had so much power over them that they decided to stay for a couple of 1,000 years. And while they did that, they started to experiment on the wild carnarios or wood wolves, right? Or what we'll call the Wendigo or the Sasquatches, right? These niggas who is out there in the wilds, right? Living in caves, running on all fours, right? And they decided that they were going to, again, experiment on them again, because this was a cyclical thing that over the centuries, the scientists, the high scientists amongst our people decided that they were going to give energy to divest in that. What books can we show and prove this with? Get a book called Making of the White Man by Paul Lawrence Guthrie. Get another book called Chosen People of the Caucasus by a Caucasian man named Michael Bradley. Get another book that he wrote called Iceman Inheritance by Michael Bradley. Get another book called 12 Secrets of the Caucasus by Aseer Bey. You can get another book. Like, we could go on and on and on, right? But see, when you start getting into territories like this, people get their feelings hurt, because a lot of our people have come to love these things the same way our ancestors who fell from their noble nature did, and started to find ways to upgrade them. And once they did that, they found that it was easier to upgrade the female than the male, right? So they started to take the females, right? And a lot of the melanated Romans, a lot of the melanated Moors and these people started to look at these females and decide that they could also create another race. But see, that was haram to the rest of us, okay? We wasn't all with that. So that caused a schism between us. And then we forbid them niggas to come back over here with them beasts, because we knew what they was doing with it. And if they did, we would cut their heads off. This is our own people we talk about now, okay? So being in exile, away from the Holy Land, which is where we are now, right? The Almanacanos Estados, aka Turtle Island, aka the land of the sheep, of the Tutlu sheep or the Amaru sheep, right? The land of the Titans, right? Whatever you want to call it, many different names. We forbid them niggas coming back over here, right? And so they began, the longer they was away, they started to again fall from their noble nature. So they started to be envious. So they had nobility and royalty over there, right? This is where we get the Holy Roman Empire, right? What they call the Byzantine, that's not really what they were called. The real name of Byzantine. That's again another word of art. The real name for them was the Pelasgians, right? The Pelas, right? The Pelasgians, or another group of them was called the there's so many of them. Yeah. Anyway, those dudes decided that they were going to find a way to force themselves back in here, right? So what they started to do was they started to weaponize these beasts against the rest of us, okay? And they started, because it was less of them and more of us over here, you understand? So they couldn't win a direct war. So like all cowards, what they start to do is start to try to take over through subterfuge, right? And they started to use clandestine and almost occultic, satanic ways to help upgrade these things, right? And give them a certain degree of consciousness. So they created different guilds and different clubs. Today we'll call them Freemasons, right? But these guys started to create these alchemical guilds to basically work amongst themselves. And thus they started to then find different ways into the alternate realities or the alternate dimensions where they could start to incarnate or commune with the disembodied spirits that had been disembodied all the way back from the time of the flood. Okay? Well, you heard people talk about Nephilims and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Right. So Nephilims and these types of things were basically what they were referred to as the Chronosian Titans. So there's 3 epochs of time in which this thing is going through. We have the Typhonian age, we have the Aphanian age, right? And then we had I always forget the last one, forgive me. But these ages is when these dirty Moors started using these old school technologies that have been long since buried and outlawed since the time of the flood, and started to try to reinitiate that technology. Started to try to reinsert that technology by using these things. Because remember, once the flood and all that stuff happened, these things that weren't supposed to exist anyway were now gone, but they had no soul. They had no bodies. So there was no higher realm for them to go to. There was no lower realm for them to go to. So what happened was they're just stuck in the middle, being what Pascal Beverly Randolph referred to as the disembodiment of man and mankind. So these are like wayward spirits that are totally evil, but have nowhere to go. So because they don't got nowhere to go, they're basically just here. But because we were dealing with certain type of spiritual technology that they had carried over from here over there, they were able to do certain types of rituals and stuff to be able to in tune with these things. And then these things would then give them information on how to create vessels for them to incarnate in, to then help them come over here and get rid of the rest of us. You understand? So this type of occult practice, right, is basically what we today will refer to as AI. You ask yourself, where does AI come from? What is that? It's what I'm telling you. That's what this thing is. You can even ask AIs, and the AI will tell you that that's what it is. But God forbid I say that, because then that sounds pseudo, right? But because everybody has been so inundated with false information, everybody think they smarter, especially with shit that they don't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? So as somebody who studied this type of stuff, who has studied angelology, there's a book, a great book, one of the greatest books on angelology and demonology you can get. It's called The Dictionary of Angels by David Oberson. Anybody can get this book. If you go to my app, I got it up there for free. You can go through it for free. Anyway, in that book, it tells you, it gives you the names of all these things. All of the glyphs that you see in Voodoo and Palo Mayombe and Santeria and Santa Muerte and all this bullshit they be doing, all of this come from that. Because these glyphs are actually the fingerprints of these things that no longer exist spiritually in the corporeal realm, that were actually able to reassert themselves once they were able to find ways to do that. And that's where the blood sacrifice stuff started coming from. And so what these dirty Moors in the other side started doing, in Europa and Western Asia started doing, was they started doing mass human sacrifices. Why? Because the more blood they collect from these things, the more they can attune energy and information from these things to figure out how to fight their way back into paradise. Because this is paradise. Believe it or not. Why do you think everybody want to come here? When was the last time you heard a so-called African American talk about, yo, I'm trying to go back to Africa and live? Like, all of these celebrities you hear about getting their African genealogies and stuff like that, how come none of them is living there? How come they all get their passports and shit and come back over here to live? Why they do that? Why do you have people getting on boats, risking sharks, risking drowning, risking being shot to get on boats, rafts, tire tubes and shit, in days, starving, right? Literally dehydrating just to get on a beach here, right? Almost dying to come here when they got their own countries. Think about that. If you had your own country, right? Where you from here. Why would you leave your own country where everybody speaks your own language to come to another place that you ain't never been before? But you heard, if I come here, I could get my bills paid. I could get Medicare. I could get all types of stuff. I could become a millionaire. Not even have to even speak the language. Where else in the world can you do that at? Tell me, and I'll go. Tell me, and I'll go. But you can't. because there's no place like that but here. And it's like that here because we made it like that. These Caucasian people that you keep giving credit for building all of these giant somatic buildings with the technology and all of this type of stuff, right? You telling me people who only been standing upright for 250 years built these buildings, built these aqueducts, created all of these mounds, created these pyramids. We got more pyramids on this side of the world than anywhere in the world. The biggest pyramid in the world is right here. And not only that, we have the most diversity in pyramids. Those things in New Mexico, those are basically ziggurats, so what you call trapezoids. A pyramid comes to a pyramidion, a point. The trapezoids are built in levels, like what you've seen in old school Babylon, right? There's nowhere else in the world. This hemisphere has every climate of every country in the world. So if you like it cold, you can live in Alaska. You want it hot, you can live in Florida. You want it mid-temper, you can live in North Carolina. You like the desert, you can go to Arizona. You want the snow, you can go to Utah. Nigga, you could go to Utah and be in the mountains in the snow and have your shirt off, be bare-chested, and be warm. Where they got that? Where's that at? Where else in the world do you have that at? You don't. You only have it here. So what I'm telling you, or what we've been telling you, right, is the fact that this is the greatest place on earth. So to get you, right, to want to find and go to one of these shithole countries that they done left, right, that they done let the Woodwolves and the Sasquatches go over there and destroy it, right? They want to con you and make you think that that place better. So that way, when you leave, they can come here and take your place. And that has been going on for 200, how old is the United States? 245 years? For as long as the so-called corporate United States done existed. This has been happening. But they tell you, you've been in bondage for 400 years. How can that be? How can you be in bondage for 400 years, but the country is only 240 years old? How does that make sense to you? Or let me ask you, let me not impose it on you. Does that make sense to you, Rich?
No.
Does that make sense to anyone? Thank you, Queen.
Hibiscus.
Hibiscus.
Hibiscus and mullein and hawthorn.
Right? It don't make sense. But it doesn't matter whether it makes sense or not. A lie agreed upon becomes the truth. And our people are so loving. You understand? Our people are we're almost like children. We're so loving and we're so accepting, right, of everybody but us. Isn't that convenient? We will make excuses for these niggas. We will say, well, they're coming from a war-torn country and they should come over here and we should accept them. Oh, word, I don't speak your language, but word, I'm going to support you. You know what they do? They come over here. They say that they're better than you. They say that you don't have no culture. They say that you don't have any culture. Meanwhile, their country is being bent over and raped by the Chinese, the Russians, the Italians, the French, the small hats, everybody.
I got it.
So what I'm saying all that to say that there's an old Moorish adage that says, when the eternal truth becomes myth and legend, they write the legend and pass on the myth, but they'll never give you the truth. You understand? So we have been hoodwinked and bamboozled because we think that because these people are similar in complexion, that they have our best interests in mind, and they most likely don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't come over here and treat us as if we are the laziest, as if we are the people, when really they wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for us. Because not only did our so-called struggle here as prisoners of war in our own land reach such a fever pitch and crescendo that we freed ourselves, that action inspired them to free themselves. You understand?
Right.
But they would never give us the credit for that because they live in a perpetual state of envy and jealousy. And we, again, because we are so loving, because we are the ones who have been in this quagmire with these beasts for so long, that we've almost gotten used to not having shit. But that's only been in the past 80 years. Prior to that, we was on top of the world.
If I flip this to drop it, would it be bad so it's not tilted? If I flip this?
Do I look tilted on your screen, fam?
Yeah, right now you're a little tilted, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try something. Tell me if that worked better.
Better?
It's just a little tilted, but it's not a distraction for, you know.
Okay, I don't want to
The
people off.
I'm gonna hold the charger and then it won't tilt it. I'm gonna hold it.
That's
right there. That's perfect. Yeah, that's
good.
good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yep.
Okay.
So this has been happening, right? And we went through many stages. We went through many stages of this type of reawakening, right? Going back and forth over many generations in which we had to constantly put ourselves in these situations. The reason why they say, well, Aseer, how come my grandmother didn't tell us that we was Moors and stuff like that? Because they had to hide that shit from you. Because they had kill orders on you. That if they saw you with a fez or a turban, or if they saw you speaking old Phoenician dialects or Latin, they would literally kill you and hang you. Why you think all these people was being lynched? You think they was just being lynched because they were sharecroppers? Why would you lynch the people who doing all your work? Does that make sense? No, but because these crackers and because these Pan-Africanists, traitors, boule niggas tell you that this person was a sharecropper, this person they hung was this, you believe it. When really, this person on this tree was an emperor. This person on this tree was the queen. This person on this tree was the governor. This person on this tree was the head scientist. This person on this tree was the head agriculturalist. That's why they was doing that. Because they don't want you to know how great you really are here without anybody's help. Without anybody coming to help us. Because see, what makes us also Americans or Americanos Estados is the fact that we know that we on our own. Ain't nobody coming to help us. Ain't no Jesus coming out the sky. Ain't no devil coming out the ground. Ain't no flying saucers coming to get you. What happened to 3-Hour Atlas? Where that at? That was the big shit last week, right? Where they at? Where the 10-foot Africans that's coming off the cigar ships? Where they at? Exactly. Smoking blunts somewhere, right? Exactly. They always scamming. Once you realize they're always scamming you, you'll be good. You have to get to the point that you have to understand whatever they tell you, do the opposite, and you'll be great. Since we've been living our life like that, it's sweet. You understand? Because we're not expecting some mass Moorish or melanated diaspora to just miraculously come together and deliver us into the promised land. Nigga, we already in the promised land. We already here. We've been here. That's why they can't deport us nowhere. That's why they can't get their little revolution popping, because we're not buying it no more. When me and the Queen was out here with the feathers on the bikes, running around here, all of that, first thing people say, oh, you Indian, right? No, we're Moors. Oh, well, I didn't know Moors was, Moors are the so-called American Indians. Think I'm lying? Go to the CDC website right now. Go to the CDC website. Type in Moor. What are you going to find? Once you type in Moor and click that button, you know what's going to show you? All of the tribes in North, Central, and South America. All the so-called Indian tribes y'all like being a part of and all of that. Again, no shade, no hate. I'm just keeping it real with y'all because they always want to delineate and create this fake argument that because I now am a Moor or I've declared my Moorish nationality, now all of a sudden, all of the Yamasi stuff my grandmother was telling me about red brick dust and the wampum bag and all of this ancient stuff she's telling me, all that's out the door now, right? That don't exist no more because now I'm a Moor from North Africa. This is North Africa, nigga. This is it. Africa is in Brazil. In the old maps, brother Ali Muhammad showed us that just last week on I don't even got TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I said. Yo, I said, if the old maps, Africa was in Brazil, the place we call Africa, what was that in the old maps?
Africa is a Freemasonic code for Earth. But they got you thinking that Africa is across the water. When Africa really is, guess what? Well, before I even say that, has anybody ever asked themselves where the word Africa comes from? Has anyone done that?
What they said, Leo Africanus or something?
Exactly. Scam. See? Scammers. I just told you, right? And they told you then that Leo Africanus was what? Was white, right? How can Leo Africanus be white when I just explained to you and showed and proved to you that the old Romans were all Moors?
What
before the Romans, who was there before the Romans?
What, the Etruscans? Etruscans?
Exactly. What color was the Etruscans?
Yeah, black.
Exactly. So how do we get, so if the Etruscans is older than the Romans, right? How then do we go from dark-skinned, ancient black Etruscans, who then the Romans then come, who adopt their culture, and now they white, and now they're Caucasian? How does that happen? Have you ever seen that happen in reality? No, you haven't. So that means it's a scam.
So I said, are you telling me Alexander the Great was black?
I'm saying Alexander the Great didn't even exist. It's a scam. It's a conglomeration of a bunch of dudes that they had to, again, compress time. Remember? These niggas didn't have no time. How could Alexander the Great be white if the Macedonians, who were Greek, were black? Can somebody explain that to me? So you mean to tell me everybody around Alexander, from his father Philip, who was a vassal king under Hannibal, who was also black, means that, so Alexander was the one white man around all of these niggas. That's what we're saying? That's the history we're giving the children.
Well, that's what we see in the movies. And isn't Alexander the asking him, is Alexander the Great, where did he come from?
Right. He's a myth.
So from what?
He's a myth, right? Exactly. From what? From thin air. From air. They just make shit up, put it in a book, and they kill the niggas who knew this real story. Then they put the fake niggas in who helped them kill the people who knew the real story, and then they give it to you, and then that's the truth.
Like him asking you about Africa.
Same thing. So again, I ask you, where did the word? So we've already debunked Leo Africanus, right?
Yeah, but it's called.
So
Africa.
where did the word Africa come from? Let's ask another question. What language does the word Africa come from?
Right.
Let's ask that. Yes, babe. Yes. See the queen? Latin. Who was speaking Latin?
The Moors.
Yes, the Moors. Right.
And what we consider
Right.
the Spaniards.
Well, we didn't get to them yet.
Oh, but they're the ones.
The Moors. Yes. Those ancient Moors who were speaking Latin, right? Africa means far or a far. Afrique can also mean a freak or something that is an anomaly. At the time that the Romans were using the term Africa, they were only talking about the little section in what today we would call Morocco over there. So So what I'm telling you then is that the Africans didn't even name themselves. The Moors, the Carthaginian Moors, named that place Africa, right? Because that's just what they called it. You understand? So I'm telling you, so let me ask you this. Who in Africa is speaking Latin today? Name one tribe in Africa today speaking Latin. I'll wait. Exactly. There's none. There's none. The only ones that speak Latin is the Catholics, the African Catholics who go to Latin Mass. Okay? So if they didn't even name their own continent, how are you descended from them? When you and I are descended from the same Moors who named them and everybody else. I'll wait. Let's back it up with books, because you know niggas be like, oh, that's pseudo info. It's not pseudo just because you don't know it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. It's just that you niggas don't read and you don't comprehend with the full pineal experience, because a lot of this information is based on set tripping. It's based on cultural and knowledge-based set tripping. If I don't like Moors, then that means anything to do with Moors, I'm not going to acknowledge as that. Who that sound like? The white man. That's what the white man do. That's what the beasts do. And these niggas think like beasts. You understand? Because they're hateful. They're spiteful. Because after they forced their way back over here, then what did they do? They started kidnapping our women and forcing them to have babies with them. So that way they could re-inseminate this evil into us. You understand? By force. And then it would take generations for us to get it out. Why you think you, anybody listening, you're the conscious one in your family and everybody in the family don't fuck with you? Excuse my language. Because you're the one in the family that then finally woke up to who you are and is threatening the genetic Nephilim curse that they seeded into you. So now you're a threat to the rest of them not being able to exist through your central nervous system. That's what the occult shit was. That's why they hated people like Bobby Hemming. You understand? Because Bobby let us know off top. These gods don't exist without you, nigga. If you stop lighting them candles and stop lighting them incense, where they gonna go? What they gonna do? They gonna be inert. If you stop calling their name, what's gonna happen? People gonna forget. Then what's gonna happen? They just gonna be wandering spirits, just out here, just gone again. Everybody forgot. So what do? They find ways to get you to reincarnate themselves. That's what incest is about. That's what child rape is about. That's what moon child rituals is about. That's what they do. They want to literally rape themselves into the consciousness of the individual. So that way, when the individual starts going through traumatic experiences and start going through traumatic recessive memories and stuff, the ancestral spirit that initiated this evil can live through them. And then what does that spirit do? It then forces them, takes control of them, possesses them, dispossess them, so that way they can go and then rape somebody else, and then now they can leapfrog through time through somebody else. That's what Crowley was doing. That's what Manly P. Hall was doing. That's what what's his name? What's the other devil these Freemasons love to talk about? There's so many of these devils.
What, Pike?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I said, well, what do you think about the move Trump just made on Venezuela? What was going on in that part of the world in antiquity?
That's ritual. So this is, for those who do not know history, they are doomed to repeat it. Remember I told you that the Moors, that the decline of the empire fell around I-492, right? What we call Venezuela, Ecuador, Panama, what else is over there?
Argentina.
That's further down. Guyana, all of that was New Granada. Okay, all of that. Then when it went from New Granada, it became the Viceroyalty of Granada. Because what happened was, what happened also is when these devils forced themselves back over here, they brought their bastard beasts of burden children with them. And these bastard beasts of children, they were basically animals. They didn't know how to read, write, none of that. So the Spanish race has no golden age. They had no divine spark of humanity. Everything them niggas got, they got from the Moors. You understand? But not all Moors was down with this. So it forced a war, what they call the Moorish War, that you can read in history, that started all the way back during the time of Micah. You know Micah in the Bible? Mm-hmm. Micah was one of the first prophets of the Moors. And that group of Moors, and that tribe of Moors, was a division of the old Moabites, who were referred to as the Mordechaites. And these Mordechaites was fighting each other to keep this from infecting their bloodline. So eventually they broke away and they created a whole breakaway society that they referred to as New Granada, right? So there was a part of, so all the upper part of what we call South America, which is really, yeah, we'll call it South America, which is really the top, because remember the map is reversed. So the South is at the top, the North is at the bottom, okay? So that very top portion, all of those countries, Venezuela, Ecuador, Panama, and Colombia, right? All of that was New Granada. So when they came over here, they brought their bastard children with them, and that forced more fights, right? So they then went all the way back up into the Midwest of what we call the Texas area, which then at the time was called Old Mauritania. You can check the congressional records of 1850, 1845 in what they call the annexation of Texas. And it says, right, in the congressional record, so this ain't no fugazi, whatever shit. They just never want to deal with the reality. And it says that all of the land west of the Nueces and the Bravo rivers belongs to the ancient Mauritanians, who represent who? The ancient Hittites, Moabites, Canaanites, Elamites, Chaldeans, the Mordechaites, all of them, right? That belonged to them. So that represented the ancient Mauritanian races, right? And the Moorish peoples who properly owned it. It says that we owned it, right? So we think of Granada in Spain over there as the only place, but that's because we don't understand vexillology, we don't understand the law of dominion, and we don't understand how the law of empire works. If I have a house here in Florida, right? The Isle of Flowers, right? And then I have a house in Canada, and then I have a house in China, right? Those are different houses, but they're all my house, correct? So that means then that I have what? Dominion over those houses, correct? Right. So that means then if Granada was only in Spain, how come we have the Viceroyalty of Granada and New Granada in what we call South America? How come we got Granada in what we call the western portion of the United States? How come we got an island called Granada, but they just refer to it as Grenada? Does that make sense? Because it's one people in different areas, because we just had it like that. We just got money like that. We just got land like that. You understand? Because we Moors have always been balling out of control. Whether we was Haudenosaunee Moors, Anasazi Moors, Seneca Moors, what's another tribe? Wabanaki, Sheminel, or what they call Seminole. Just you can name them. Washoe, who else? Name a tribe, name one. Tasalagi, name another one. Just off the top if you can.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Your readers, any readers, any listeners or whatever, just have them type them. Just type in names. Just keep typing the names in so-called Native American. Or matter of fact, go to the CDC website, type in more, and then see all of the tribes I'm talking about that fall under the primary designation of what these people were or referred to as prior to 1492. The reason why you refer to yourselves as Indians is because the so-called dilapidated Spaniards, right? The what do you call it? The Coranios, right? The dog people, they referred to those lands or referred to you as Los Indios, meaning those outside of God. And then Indian became the vexillum, the Semitic term, the word of art that they would use to those denationalized Moors who they had fought since the Reconquista. There's a book called the Florida Historical Quarterly. In that book, it basically tells you that after the foreign wars of the Moors across the waters, the veterans of those wars were brought over here to fight the American Moors that were already here, who then were put in such a dire strait that in order to preserve their numbers, they would have to hide their numbers. And they started to use other names to conceal their true national identity. This is when the decoy situation started coming in. There's a book you can get, again, by a dude named Chesterman called Rebels, Imposters, and Conspirators. It's a great book. And it gets into the fact that these niggas started to actually shave the white men. They started to shave them up. They started to put boards on their back and force them to stand upright, and started to teach them language and stuff like that. Also, that way they could give them a limited autonomy, so that way they could represent the true Moors who was doing this to them, so those Moors could fade to the back and rule from the shadows. This is what's called the black nobility. These are the true black devils. Remember Django? Remember the movie Django?
Right, yeah.
Remember Stephen? Remember Carl Candy? Who was signing the check, Stephen or Carl Candy? Who was pouring the brandy, Stephen or Carl Candy? Who was dictating who was getting thrown in the dungeon, ripped by the white dog men, Stephen or Carl Candy? Who owned the house, Stephen or Carl Candy? Who was running the household, Stephen or Carl Candy? It was always Stephen, because Stephen in that movie represented Yakub. Carl Candy represented the shaved up white man. The other white people who were on the plantation, right, ripping the slaves and stuff like that, right? They are the dog people I'm talking about. The so-called blacks on the plantation were the denationalized Moors who were functioning as functionally illiterate because they had been given forced amnesia. When have you ever seen a slave movie in which the slaves was walking around on the plantations with shackles on their feet? Have you seen one?
No.
No. So why then did the slaves not run away? How come you only had shackles on the slaves from when you bought them and then brought them to the plantation? Then once they got to the plantation, they took the chains off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Remember when remember in Django when they was walking the slaves and Django was on the horse?
Right, yeah.
And he said, I'm worse than you. I'm worse than any white man that you see, right? What did they call them type of Moors in the movie? You remember?
No, what did they call them?
They called them one-eyed Charlies.
Oh.
What is a one-eyed Charlie? You know what that is?
No, what's that? One-eyed Charlie.
Barbary pirate.
Oh. Wow.
Why? Because the pirates wore the eye patch, right?
Right.
Right. And who was the Barbary pirates enslaving globally?
Who?
White people. The only place that you saw black people being in bondage under the one-eyed Charlie like that was on them plantations. But all them plantations was owned by melanated people who put the white decoys there so that way they could blend in like Stephen with the rest of the herd, so that way they wouldn't know who actually was running the shit. Don't that sound familiar? Ain't that what's going on today?
Damn.
Exactly. Thank you, baby. Didn't Brunhilde, who Django was trying to get, didn't she speak German? Who was running the Holy Roman Empire? The Black Germans, the Bavarians. Who was the niggas who was importing chocolate all over the world? The Black Germans, the Bavarians. The Bavarian chocolate is the highest, richest chocolate in the world. What's the best-selling Bavarian chocolate brand? You know what it's called? It's called the Mohrenkampf. You know what it is? You know what it look like? Moorish heads. The same Moorish heads you see on all of them crests you see all over the place over there. How come all the Moorish German architecture got pictures of American Moors over there? With feathers and headdresses and stuff like this over there in Germany. Because we are the ones who, after the great dispensation of the younger Dryas, left here in 11,500 and went across the world and repopulated the world. And then once we repopulated the world and got shit popping again, what do? We left and came back here, came back to heaven. And then what happened to us over there? Our descendants over there. We became gods to them. Who is the #1 culture trendsetter in the world?
Hip-hop American niggas.
Exactly. Hip-hop American niggas. Because that's how it's always been. The Africans over there, they don't even know who they are. Them niggas been wiped out, repossessed, dispossessed, migrated, exodus, X'd out, kicked out, moved, raped, right? To the point they don't even know who they are. So you know what they doing now? They dressing up like 50 Cent shit. They done given up all of that, right? The true ones. Now again, if it don't apply, let it fly. If I'm not talking about you, don't get mad. But if you're getting mad, then you the hit dog that's hollering. You understand? I ain't talking about everybody. I'm talking about who this shit apply to. And that's what people need to understand. You need to stop being so victimized and so pusillanimous that every time somebody says something about you, you automatically offended. I'm 52 years old. I can give a damn what any man say. Why do
you think Trump went after I think Nigeria on Christmas?
Before I get to that, let me get back to Venezuela.
Right.
The reason why he got Venezuela, got Maduro out of there, one, because Maduro was a goddamn mestizo racist piece of shit. They got pictures of him in blackface. They got pictures of him disrespecting dark-skinned Venezuelans out there, right? But that's another story. On January 2nd, I-492 that's when Grenada fell. Excuse me, that's when it got reorganized, right? On January 3rd, the symbolic day after Grenada falls, right? Your boy Donnie T and the Small Hats decide that they gonna go down there and get your boy Maduro out of there. So on January 3rd, the day after Grenada falls, this nigga goes and invades Grenada and kidnaps the dirty Moor Maduro, whose last name is Moros. Do you see the symbolism at play? Then after he did that, you know what Donnie did? This nigga say, yo, we're gonna start to initiate, we re-initiate letters of marque and reprisal. You know what that means? You know who's the last people who set up letters of marque and reprisal?
Who?
The One-Eyed Charlies, the Barbary Pirates. That's how we was enslaving all of them white people and all them people over the world. We was getting letters of marque. A letter of marque and reprisal means if I'm a noble and I have a fleet of ships, I can empower this pirate or this Barbary Moor to go and seize European ships. And when he bring it back to me, he has a mandate to do that, so long as he bring me back the spoils of war and we split it. So that means right now, Moors, Moors, any American, true American national, non-citizen national, Moors specifically. If you got guns and a boat, you can get on a boat right now, go into the high seas, seize ships, and bring it back, and Donnie will cut you a check. That's Moorish law. That ain't no Indian law. That ain't no Cherokee law. That ain't no African law. That's Barbary law. That's old Moorish law. So when I tell you that they have put you back in the Moorish Empire without telling you, I'm showing and proving it to you. These are all facts. Why? Because they say, oh, he went there to get the oil. We got oil, nigga. There's more oil in Texas than anywhere. They just won't let these niggas drill it. So why are we really there? Well, it's not us, but why are they there? I'll tell you. Because way back in 1954, at the height, exactly, baby, at the height of the white man empire, because you understand, this cracker only been running shit since from 1900 to about 1945. Then from 1945, Then from 1945 to about 1966, he been falling. That's the height. That's the height of his empire. That's when white folk could walk, see you, kidnap you, rape you, do whatever they want to do. They could literally put a saddle on your back and say, hey, nigga, ride me down the street. They could do whatever they want up until that point. Ever since then, they losing. So back in 1954, they decided that they couldn't control the rise of China because Chiang Kai-shek, who they used to call Cash My Check, he was basically trying to turn China into like a utopia. Was it I think it was Chiang Kai-shek. You could fact check me on that. But whoever was the president at that time. And they was doing big things with silver because they had just come out of the war. They had just basically started to recover from their home, aka Japan, basically raping a quarter of their population. You don't believe me? Get a book called The Rape of Nanking, where the Japanese during the war went into China and basically raped a third of the population and physically ate another 100,000 people. Okay,
Damn.
They were cannibals. Okay, I'm telling you, these people are beasts. Okay, they ate people and they did this. So what happened was China's just now starting to feel itself getting back in things. So what the United States started doing, what the United States do is that they give you humanitarian aid, so you let your guard down. Then they use the humanitarian aid to come in and destroy your country. Okay, so what they did was they put something in effect called the Silver Act. And what that did was that depreciated all of the silver in China at that point because China was building its coffers back up with silver. So they divested it and made it and tied it to the United States dollar, in which now the United States had the majority silver, which then plunged China overnight into poverty, which then caused the so-called Maoist revolution, which was a color revolution, because Mao was a transgender Jesuit who was friends with another boule piece of shit named W.E.B. Du Bois. Look it up. And these communists, right, went there and created a fictitious manual with the help of the small hats and created what they call the Red Book. And then used the Red Book to disassociate the children of China from their parents and then forced them into communism and then did away with their emperor, right? Who himself was was Moorish. Okay? Because this is when the global Moorish empire started to fracture. There's a movie and a book you can get called The Last Emperor. Go and watch this movie. No, that's 7 Years in Tibet. That's about the Nazis.
Which one?
The Last Emperor. About the last emperor of China.
The little boy.
Yes. Who grew up in the Forbidden City. He's a Chinese person. Anyway, the last emperor, that guy, that movie was all about the communist revolution and how it was fostered by all of this stuff I'm talking about. And then once Mao and them got in there, he went in and murdered over 50 million Chinese. You hear what I'm telling you? Yes. Communism has never worked. Communism is a virus, and it's a parasitic organism that was created by the small hats to be able to destroy everything. To quote Karl Marx, at the very root of communism is the abolition of personal property. Okay? So any commie, any socialist, any commie pinko is against humanity and is technically a genocidal maniac. All right? So that goes for Zohan Mundani, right? The commie Indian from Uganda who grew up in Canada, right? Who was a failed rapper in Brooklyn, who is now the puppet, the small hat puppet commie mayor in New York. That's another story. But anyway, they used him to not only short the silver, but then to create a way for them to money launder and move all the silver out of China, right? So it wasn't until the late 80s that the Chinese finally got finally wrangled control from the World Bank to be able to set up their own little silver thing, and they've been hedging silver ever since. So right now, China got 50% of the silver market globally. So while this was happening, all of the banksters, right, who are run by the small hats, these niggas started to create silver certificates, right? But they started to create more silver certificates than they had silver. So now what they started to do was start to float these silver certificates. But then when people started margin calling the silver, it was starting to hemorrhage the banks because the banks can't pay because there's no silver, right? So what did they do? They had to create another hustle. So they started to short Chinese silver again, but the Chinese was smarter this time and they didn't let them do it. So on December 25th, 2025, at precisely 12 p.m., all of the banks were now called in margin, and none of them had any silver, which means on December 26th, all of the banks were now default on their payments and their loans, which means that if somebody went and started asking for silver, it would collapse the entire Western economic power structure. You heard? Overnight. So they had to do something. So Venezuela has a lot of silver. So they say, well, what we gonna do while everybody looking, remember, it's always fake left, go right. So while everybody think it's about the oil, we gonna go in there and get the silver. But this nigga Maduro, right? He knew this because he has been low-key playing both sides. So you think that he's against the Zionists, but low-key, he's actually a Jew. Look it up. So what happened was he was basically trying to blackmail Donnie and said, look, if you want to do this, this, and that, you're going to have to give us this, this, and that. Donnie said, word? That's what you think? He said, yo, call the war dog. That's your boy Hegseth, the fucking crazy Templar nigga. This nigga got Templar crosses tattooed all on his body. This nigga's crazy. He said, yo, call him. Call Eric Prince, the head of Blackwater. Remember Blackwater? Remember Blackwater during Iraq-Contra? Remember these crazy niggas? Got them niggas on the phone, say, yo, go get this nigga. They say, yo. So they went, got this nigga, right? Brought him, didn't bring him to the Department of Justice, didn't bring him to Quantico. Where they put this nigga? They put this nigga in Brooklyn House in Brooklyn. Right down the block from where we used to sell the DVDs, Rich.
Yeah. Wow.
Right where they got 6ix9ine, R. Kelly, Jelaine Maxwell, Bill Cosby, all the things they put in Brooklyn House, right?
Wow.
So once they got him in there, the next day, you know what Morgan Stanley said?
What?
They have now invested in the biggest silver smelting factory in the world, and guess where it's at? Venezuela.
Wow.
So again, my brothers, it's chess, not checkers. Whatever these niggas tell you, it's never that. It's always the opposite. But because, again, Negroes don't read, Negroes only believe what another Negro tell them, and because they don't have no nationality, they don't read things like the Circle 7 Quran, where our prophet told us that man knows not from being told. All things must be proven. All things must be shown.
Right.
Our prophet came and tore the veil off of all the secret societies. Right? And so now, in response to that, Venezuela now is about to receive their puppet. Their puppet is the chick named Machado, right? Who said that as soon as she get in there, one of her first things is she gonna open up an embassy in Venezuela in Israel. So you already know. It's a wrap. Then your boy in Colombia, the Colombian president, he just came out yesterday, and you know what he said? He said that the true indigenous rulers of America are the Black Americans. Why would he say that all of a sudden? As racist as Colombian niggas are, as much fentanyl and cocaine and methamphetamines and shit these niggas have been flooding our streets with, why would he say that now? Because they signifying monkeys. Go back and read the story. Go to talk people who got grandmothers from the South. Get them to tell you the stories about Brer Rabbit and the signifying monkey and Uncle Remus and all that shit. Those are the stories that's giving you the Moorish history. But because our ancestors, they done told us that that's racist, that all of them stories is racist, we don't know. But the signifying monkey signify all the time. He signified by what he do more than what he say. He's saying that as a cry for help. Everybody in the world know that we are the only ones on earth who have proven to been able to stop this beast. Us, not the Africans, not the Haitians, not the Venezuelans, not the Caribbeans, not the Trinidad and Tobagoans, us. We lay the groundwork for everybody else. We are the bar that everybody aspire to. That's why we're the most hated. That's why we're the most copied. That's why we're the most envied. So I'm at the stage in my life where I'm like, bet. Let's bask in this, y'all. Let's bask in the glory that your ancestors have left you. Because our prophet told us that he said that he's going to leave this cracker around long enough to teach us how to run a government. But see, what people do is that they read the words for what the words mean today, when they don't understand that every word that man said had a legal premise to it. You know what the word run means in legalese? What? It means those who have the ability to overcome and take over a failed state or government. It means those who have a covenant with God and by God have the right to reinstate the government that was overthrown by them. I'm paraphrasing. I didn't know that. But get a Black's Law Dictionary to get the exact quote. He also said that the European is your fellow man, so you should always treat him nice. You know what the word fellow means? What? In legalese, it means a creature. It means something that is an apparition, something that is dead. It means a hollow corporation. You know what the word nice means in legalese? It means stupid. It means dumb. It means retarded. So when the prophet, Noble Jew Ali, said, treat the European as your fellow man, and you should always treat him nice, we translate that to mean The European is a dead corporation, a soulless husk who is retarded. And he is going to be around long enough for you to see his retardation, so that way you know what not to do when your time comes to come back in the throne.
Wow, this is wow. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, and I say I want to we got about 25 minutes left, so I want to get a few questions from the people before we get out of here.
Let's do it.
Give me some questions in the chat. Yo, Selena, before I forget, I was doing the show while they come up with the questions. I was on the show the other day and I gave you a shout out and I was like, I said, shout out to Selena. I think like the beginning of January.
Right.
My daughter had just got out the shower. She took a bath or whatever, and I was getting her dressed. And I asked my girl, I said, damn, her hair grew. I said, oh, her hair's growing. She said, my girl was like, yeah, I was on Selena's website and I got the rosemary. She had got the what you got, like some rosemary?
Who the knowledge? I'm gonna get some.
Yeah, she got the rosemary, and that, let me tell you, Selena, that is helping my daughter's hair a lot. So I wanna say thank you for that.
Shout outs to your daughter.
Yeah, indeed.
My love. Testimonies from real people in real time is what has allowed me to stay afloat. And I'm not on social media as much anymore. Like, I don't post commercials. Just yesterday, my friend was like, what are you doing? You can take off. And I sent him a video and he was like, that's over like 120 products. I said, that's what I'm doing. I'm making products, but everything is handmade. The Rosemary's Baby is a game changer. And what I want to say is that I've been getting, sometimes people send me these little videos of like these little anime characters of like they have these new little anime characters of what to do, to preserve stuff in your kitchen or how to clean in your house. And I'm so grateful for history and for herbs. They haven't gone out of style. If anyone is making products and you tap into anything with herbs, you're going to learn and just know what to do. I always say ingredients trump everything. And because people skirt ingredients based on popularity and based on fame and based on people just investing in nothing, it's almost as though people want to get wealthy without putting ingredients that are wealthy in them. So, for example, nothing should have perfume in your bottles. Nothing should have safflower oil, soy oil, glycerin,
natural flavors.
Just a lot of people that are famous are now getting into product making and selling products, but they're actually owned by a Vanguard or by prescription companies that are pharmaceutical companies that are using famous people that we trust or that
decoys, like I told you,
decoys, and try to inundate our communities with really, I would say, hormone blockers, endocrine and hormones like destabilizers, cancer-causing agents. But because it's somebody that's famous, we're like, oh my God, she's got great. And you can put a little castor oil in something really toxic and it still promote a little growth because castor oil is amazing. So you got to think like, wow, inactive ingredients and active ingredients. A lot of people are pushing inactive ingredients, but you're not looking at the whole ingredient list, which has over 8 to 10. Anything that's sold in Ulta, that's sold in any beauty store, Sephora, they have to be made with these chemicals for pharmaceutical companies to approve of them being sold nationwide.
Which means they're poison.
Yes, they are. So I'm grateful for my company and for people that have spread the knowledge because nothing has endocrine blockers in it. They can all be used by boys. The Rosemary's Baby, the hibiscus hair oil, this is the hibiscus hair oil. A lot of people ask, okay, Selena, you're 48, how do you not have grays? A lot of it is just herbs and putting herbs in my products for the last 20 years, really 17, because I really started when Amour was born. They actually have helped new growth. It's not to say people with gray hair are horrible or that, it's just if we can keep our follicles with B12 and just charged with the right ingredients, we won't have gray hair. So the anise oil. There's over 6 different hair oils on my website. There's over 8 different hair butters. You have Goji Guru, the blue rice pudding. The reason why I wanted variety is because I didn't want to get trumped by people that were coming out with hair products that are famous. Of course your sales are going to dip because now this multimillionaire that's gorgeous has hair products that are being sold, but they have endocrine blockers in them, which means that they have 4 to 8 different chemicals in her products.
Yep.
And because those aren't put on the website where you can see it, the pictures that they show are of the active ingredients. But the inactive ingredients are so plush with horridness that I'm grateful that people do read, because variety to me is the key. I didn't want to come out. Sometimes people go, oh my God, you have so many products. Thank God, because if I only had a hair care line, I wouldn't be able to pay or contribute with what it is we have to do. And Aseer would have to be out doing lectures every day. So for me, I really just want to encourage people. Every product on my website will promote hair growth. You can't go wrong if you pick one. I just wanted people to have more variety just in case they don't like the smell of rosemary. They could get the anise, which is made with frankincense. It's made with lime. It's made with myrrh. But you still have your hemp oil. You have so many ingredients that are going to promote hair growth. It's not just castor oil based. You have over 8 to 10 different herbs, whether it be calendula, whether it be nettle, whether it be clove oil, whether it be ginger. The Taurus line is made with ginger and lime. Ginger promotes hair growth ridiculously. So when I look at all these little commercials, I'm like, yo, I'm so grateful that I studied a little bit to know what to use. And yes, it costs a lot what I make, which is why I have so many products to choose from, because I don't want to hit people over the head for like $55 for a 4 ounce when really people are selling 1 ounce, 2 ounce products for $65 because you know they've got the dropper and the name. But my products, whether they're from 2 ounce to 16 ounces, so you'll have 16 ounce shampoos that are not only clarifying, but for example, I have on clothes that can saturate and be thin, but over time you know how to do your hair where it doesn't make your clothes horrific to wear, and they're not staining your clothes because the right amount is in it. All my hair oils you can put on your face and you won't break out. Why? Because my hair falls in my face and I didn't want anything to break any of us out. So you have a new product, Son of Man. It's made with some amber oil. It's really dope. It's got red ginseng in it, ashwagandha in it for men. That promotes a lot of hair growth for men. And again, if you don't want your beard to grow, you can still use things like the Rosemary's Baby, like the anise oil, but I wanted it specifically. Sometimes people ask, is there anything just for men? All of my products are unisex. They're all made for men and women, especially teenagers and young girls, because again, I wanted to make Moorally, which you can use. All of the body washes are made with jojoba, saponified coconut, olive oil based. And I've taken so much time to figure out how to make them in mass because I want people to never go to the website and see something sold out. That's just my own hustle. So you have halts. I have a mosquito repellent, Vaselinas for your edges. It's made with more castor oil and a lot of aloe in it. So for people that have curls, for people that are styling with braids, for white women, for people that have alopecia, for women with stretch marks, or people that are trying to tighten their skin. Tiger Stripes is excellent because it has 8 to 10 different herbs in it. I can shake it up. You can see it's got a little bit of coffee in there, some roses in it, a rose oil again. People use fragrance rose oil, which is not true essential rose oil. All of my stuff is scented with essential oils. So yes, I want to try to undercut and give people products for $7 or $5, but that's just the cost of the label and the bottle alone. So I still got to think of how to at least stay afloat so I can continue to buy these argan-based products. All the hair oils have argan, macadamia oil, jojoba oil, hemp oil, flaxseed, oh my God, aloe, a little bit of what I would say, oh my, I can't even, a little bit of pine oil. Everything is listed in the thing. Musical hairs, the hair magic, the zinc pink. I have some new ones. Zinc pink and the fig oil. Really great for people with hypertrophic scars as well as for nail growth. So if you want your nails to grow, these are my real nails. They're not capped, they're not tipped, they don't break. I always say my left hand is stronger and I keep my right hand kind of low because I'm constantly opening bottles. So I want to be able to be practical. And yeah, I treat my left hand like a princess. So, and also just to show that you can grow your own nails naturally.
That's right.
So they should be able to grow naturally, consistently. The hair magic, the musical hairs, the Goji Guru, the blue pudding, the anise oil, the rosemary's baby, the hibiscus hair oil, all will grow your hair. Then you have the body butters. The body butters are really great for anybody dealing with any type of eczema, dry skin, rough patches, scars, blemishes. We want to be able to lighten without using alpha hydroxy, without using a lot of stuff that's stripping our skin and making it unable for us to download vitamin D. Vitamin D is the #1 skin protectant, which will keep us from getting wrinkles.
Selena, real quick, I don't mean to cut you off. What is that ingredient I usually see in certain beauty products? I think it's called sacrylic acid. What is that?
About it's salicylic. It is salicylic acid. It's a skin brightener and lightener. Remember, everything from herbs also is chemically altered. So chemical-based products, which do work for Caucasians because they don't have melanin in their skin, as much melanin. So it's like a white surface. You can't see what you're extracting from things that are white. But with our skin, we're melanin-based, and we can't use salicylic acid. We can't use alpha hydroxys. We're not supposed to use things like hypodermabrasions, snail mucin, all these Korean products that are made. You have to remember, Koreans love white skin. It's not to say it's not bleach, but it will lighten your skin over time. They don't, this nigga, shut the fuck up. It's not bleach in their products. They're using chemically based skin brighteners and lighteners. So even a lot of Black people are into that because they're like, oh my God, my skin is bright. What it's doing, like for a Tiana Taylor or a Beyonce, you remember when they had a little bit more melanin, and now they're totally whitewashed because they've been using these skin bleachers that really, it's not like Clorox, but it is the same. It will produce the same effect over time. We're not supposed to use that. It's going to cause wrinkles as we get older. It's going to cause for dryness in your skin, and it actually makes your skin addictive to it because if you use something else, your skin is going to actually go through a process where your melanin is going to start to form. Another big, go and get the NAD out that thing. Another big thing that people are starting to get into, which people that are melanated have to watch for, is NAD-based products. NAD. It's being sold as like the thing that will euthanize and allow us to look younger. But NAD, this is what it looks like. I try everything, by the way. NAD, I used this product for a week and started getting light spots on my skin. Just little light. I said, oh shit, this niacinamide, I can't even pronounce it. It's called nicotinamide because I think of nicotine. Anyway, these niacinamide products that actually work for Caucasians and Koreans and people with really light skin, you're not gonna see like little white spots on their skin, but you will on ours. I had to stop using that right away. I said, okay, let me try this new product. I took that pill for at least 5 days, and I tell you not, little light marks started I chucked that shit, I have not used it since, went back. Some vitamins don't work. Folate acid, B folate will cause lightening as well. Also, there's another one, B folate and methyl something. It's in my bedroom. I literally have written all of these new vitamins down. A lot of them have skin lighteners and bleaching agents in them, which will really mess us up over time.
They're trying to kill us all.
We still want to be able to download vitamin D naturally from the sun, but a lot of people stay away from the sun, which is totally off and wrong. We only need like 15 minutes a day. But even if you don't have the sun, use products that have aloe in them, jojoba, argan oil. All of these oils will naturally keep your skin hydrated from within, especially if your diet is on point. Even if you eat meat and toxic shit, as long as you juice a little bit with a beet once in a while, you try to have a tea with a little bit of dandelion in it, it's going to allow your kidneys and your liver to work properly, and it will really help your skin. A lot of people's skin is so toxic from using all of these products, whether it be Dove, Kerry Lotion, Lubriderm, all of those products have fragrances, have hormone blockers, have endocrine blockers, all of your perms, all of the gel-based products that we see cute girls using to style their edges, they all have hormone blockers. Why is that important? PCOS, endometriosis, all of these things that will cause us will cause fertility issues, not just fibroids, but not being able to carry a baby, not being able to get pregnant. Even the other day, I was watching Moorally Simmons' daughter, beautiful girl, very young, endometriosis, PCOS, same thing, Lori Harvey, PCOS, endometriosis. Where are they getting these diseases from? Especially when they're supposed to be sexually based. Not all these girls, I'm saying, are having sex like that, but they're using fragrances. This young girl just came out with a body spray. All of it is hormone blockers. Stay away from candles. Candles have hormone blockers in them. Anything scented, laundry sheets. It's like, oh my God, what can I use? What you can try to remember is that you can make your own home potpourri with a little bit of cloves, some cinnamon, just put it on your stove on low. Your house will smell euphoric in a second and you won't have all the toxins. Same thing, get rid of all of your cleaning utensils and supplies. Just put a bottle of white vinegar, a cap full of bleach, you're good to go. Baking soda, white vinegar, and bleach. Use that on all of your dishes, on like you're scrubbing your pots. Same thing for dish soap. I would use this and make a dish soap out of it, which I do use on my dishes, but I'm trying to think, okay, what is practical that people are gonna wanna use first? Body, hair, oil, whatever. All of the body oils, none of them have fragrances in them. Same thing, you have Tiger Stripes that comes in a body balm. You have the Star Anise, which is great. It's a great alternative for people that might not want a whole lot of peppermint and might not like that medicinal rosemary smell. Then you have the OG. OG is onion and garlic. I have an OG body wash as well as an OG body hair fit. This is it. The OG body wash is excellent for people with athlete's feet, for people with dry feet, fungus. Really a great fungus killer. Amazing. But you want lightning? Banana. The banana face alchemy, as well as the banana serum, as well as the cherry oil. Cherry oil is great for dark underspots. It's great. The banana face alchemy is really great for people with those scars from, pimples. My son just went through a whole stage. Oh my God, I want cheese, cheese, cheese. I said, go ahead and get your pizza on and all of this. Then his forehead started breaking out. He was like, Mom, my forehead. Use the banana face, use some banana serum at night. It's got, not only do I take the banana peel and boil it to a certain heat, but it's got real banana energy extract in it. A lot of people don't know how to distill their own products, but the anise toner is great for people with dark spots as well. Same thing, your daughter might be having a little hair growth issue. I swear to God, the Rosemary's Baby has got my hair down to my ankles. I just had to trim it because I cannot walk without it on the floor. And I'm telling you, now you do not see it. I wanted to grow my hair. Some people have beautiful locks that are thinner than mine, and they don't have. I knew my hair wasn't going to be able to do that because my hair is
That's incredible.
Very thin in certain places and very curly. So I'm not going to say anymore. Same thing. Face washes, the rose clay alchemy, the banana face, the kelp help, the beets and roses. All of them are made with herbal extracts. All of them are made with 8 to 10 different herbs. Same thing. The pit stops. I only use this under my arms because it does not give me that white residue. Plus, I'm not stinking during the day. Pit stops is amazing. You won't feel the baking soda in it. You won't feel the arrowroot powder in it. Why? The way that it's blended and the way that it's made. There's certain stages that I think people skip because it just takes too much time. I figured out how to do stuff. The fig oil, again, zinc pink and Magnus. The Magnus oil is made with magnesium. Any magnesium, I would say that that's the best supplement for our skin. Magnesium as well. If you have any type of constipation, any type of issues with your kidneys, you don't want to always sometimes buy products that are made like herbal teas because we don't know how much herbs are in them, and you can have problems, especially if it has uva ursi in it, if it has stinging nettle in it, if it has blessed thistle in it. It will change your milk production if you're lactating. It will stop certain milk being produced. So sometimes I want to be like, oh, I want to sell herbs, but I don't know people's weight. I don't know their cholesterol levels. I don't know if they have high blood pressure or not. And certain herbs will really alter those things. And not each herb is made for masses. You want to make herbs for specific people individually. So again, the zinc pink is one of my favorites right now. It is incredible. I'm not going to open them because I don't open things that are already closed. But the whole astrology line is designated to celebrating certain herbs for that astrology sign. For example, Aries, great head stuff. You need stuff that's going to help with headaches, migraines, overthinking. The herbs are in them for that. The Taurus line, made with ginger. Ginger is great for people, shoulders, all neck energy, all lymphatic energy. Everything is lymphatic cleansing. You want a skin brush. The reason why I don't sell a lot of exfoliations other than the Aura, which has the oat powder, the Moroccan clay, apple cider vinegar. The reason why I don't like selling dermabrasion stuff is because sugar scrubs and salt scrubs should be made individually for people's specific blackheads. If you have blackheads, just make your own baking soda with a little bit of Celtic salt in it. Add it to any one of the body washes. Wash your face, you'll be good to go. You don't want to use those too much. You want a skin brush, which is going to help with dead skin more than anything. Again, if you have missing hair, any one of the hair products, you're not going to go wrong. They just smell a little different because I wanted to give people variety. But any questions, shoot them out. I don't want to take up more time.
Indeed. And family, King Simon is sharing her link in the chat continuously.
NovaOrganics.com.
Indeed.
So you're going to get your stuff the same week that you place your order. I'm a stickler for making sure the tracking and information gets sent in a personalized email. You will get a free lip balm with each order. And the reason why I have to charge $8 is because USPS is now $8.95 for general mail. Priority is about $12.95, and I don't charge more than $10 for priority shipping. So I always front the difference. I front the difference on the $8.95s as well, because if your products are over 2 pounds, they're going to be over $10. I don't mind doing that though for people. Once they invest and spend that much, I'm willing to just front the $6, $7 in shipping for them. Also, the body sprays that I have, Cordoba 22, as well as the ether. Physical therapy is excellent. It's a turmeric base, but it's also got a little arnica oil in it. It's really great for inflammation of the joints. The ether, great, like a great Vicks. It's a good Vicks. Let me shut the heck up. He's saying the questions. So I'm trying to give the variety. Ether is great.
Appreciate it. Indeed.
All of that. So yeah, you'll get your stuff the same week that it's synced. That means if you order on a Monday, you're going to get your tracking the same week that you place your order. And
Indeed. Appreciate it, Selena. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you so much. Spreading it word of mouth has helped so much. Also, the blue shampoo, the blue rice, and the blue rice hairsprays, and the cherry hairspray. Excellent. Excellent. With, the stuff in it is basically the blue spirulina. You got your hibiscus oil. You've got your dragon's fruit. Anything high in it's called phenol. Anything high in certain ingredients are going to allow you to not have gray hair. So that's what a lot of the ingredients are. They're all listed in everything.
Indeed, indeed.
And that's it. Eczema, psoriasis, dry skin, cradle cap. You can put any of the oils on your baby. It's not going to break your baby out. That was my goal. Same thing with the Moorally for the ladies. It's got wild yam in it. Really great for people going through menopause. I don't know what it's like, but I'm looking forward to menopause. I want to go through it so bad, but it's not happening yet. So I'm just, for people that are, it will definitely help you with all of that. 8 to 10 herbs in every product.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I see. Let's do 2 questions before we get out of here, my brother. I'm gonna get to the first one. Was Joshua Hansen considered a dirty Moor? I know they used his story to miseducate Europeans during the 1800s. He was also a Freemason. Was he a part of the decoy strategy?
Yeah, a lot of those guys were. And a lot of the black nobility families are descendant to these people. And a lot of your own peoples, you may not realize it or not, but you're actually descended, or they're actually descended and members of your family, but you don't know. A lot of us, you have to understand the Astors, the Warburgs, the Farneses, the Abrandanis, the Ordensinis, the Palavicis, all of these guys, the Selassies, all of those guys are related. All of those guys are a part of those black nobility bloodlines that came out of Europa because they descended from our people that was over here who put in power, but like I said, were forbidden to come back here, and then basically created what they call a vendetta. And that vendetta basically became a blood oath that they all swore to be able to do that. So when we talk about the devil and Lucifer and Shaitan and all of that, these are these families that have been using the small hats and the whites and the war dogs and the Spaniards and all of these people against you, as well as those other people. My great uncle Nathaniel used to say the worst devil is the black one because you can't see him in the dark. So you gotta always remember that these people have not gone anywhere. And if you have that insane person in your family, or you have those people in your family that's constantly on you, constantly trying to get you to be involved with certain things, trying to get you involved in fraternities and sororities and Freemason societies, even if they call them Moors and all of that, don't fall for that shit. All of that shit is dead. All of those people are pledging oaths to dead ghosts and ghouls and goblins. They're creating golems and homunculuses. These are artificial intelligences that are husks, that are walking around here looking like us, but they are totally evil and devoid. Those of us who are RH positive, right? They are the ones who are basically the NPCs. The RH negatives, we are the souls that are having human experiences. It's a difference. So we get it twisted, you know what I mean? Real quick, there's a big situation, big fake controversy. Another fake controversy they're bringing up now is Moors versus Mers and all of this bullshit. You have to understand that it's a fictitious argument. No human being has ever gone to war over vowels, okay? Because these Moors that's telling you, and these TikTok Moors and these TikTok people who are using AI to get information all the time and not reading books and not researching, not going into the real world to do it, they're getting you caught up, and they're getting you up in arguments that don't make sense. How is the whole Moor versus Mer situation when none of our people was using vowels like that? So stupid. It's a stupid argument, and anybody talking that shit to you, agent, trying to get you caught up and trying to create more divisiveness when this is the time we're supposed to be coming together. We are stronger together than apart. So don't let these niggas make the argument. I've been in this thing since '97. And I've watched them create arguments out of nothing. I've watched people, that's the other thing, all of these fake Aboriginal Indians and FBAs and this ones, they all got fezzes in the closet. They playing you. Playing you. And if you fall victim to it, it's your fault. Everybody got intuition until they really need it. So start tapping into your real intuition and start using common sense to discern real arguments from staged fake ones. Because TikTok is not an encyclopedia. You understand?
Indeed, indeed. Last question. I said they want to know, was the prophet Pan-American? Which nations would be good allies for us?
Any nation or anybody who understands and is sympathetic to your position, to our position as true Americans, right, is our ally. Everybody that is trying to put us under them, whether it be genetically, whether it be socially, whether it be spiritually, by getting us involved in a bunch of dead systems that don't work no more. You don't have to cut no chickens. You don't have to cut no people. You don't have to give no blood. You don't have to sacrifice no children. You don't got to do none of that. Anybody asking you to sacrifice something, whether it be your integrity, whether it be a humiliation ritual, whether it be anything that puts you outside of yourself is a demon. And man becomes the fool for the divinity he worships. The true and ultimate creator would never ask you to worship it. Why would something that is so eternally extravagant and extraordinary, why does it need your little prayers? Why would it need that? Why would it need you to cut something open? Why would it need you to kill one of its creations to get some sort of knowledge and show and prove that it's that? The God of the Old Testament is a devil. The God of the New Testament is the devil. The God of the one that they walking around kissing the stone every day, that's Kronos. That is not Muhammad. Muhammad and all of that is a trap. The true and living is within. Yeshua, I'm not talking about Jesus. I'm talking about the spirit of the internal Christ, Yeshua Yahashua. That is the inside of you. That is the kingdom within you. We are taught that Allah exists in the heart. So if the heart is the second brain, you got to use all three brains in conjunction, because from the top, from your feet to your midheaven is hell. From your midheaven to your heart is earth. From your heart up to your head, that's heaven. So you are the Solomon's temple. You are the physical kingdom. You are the eternal creator. Because if not through you, none of it exists. So what you naturally are, the small hats in these niggas gotta sacrifice cows. They gotta move people out of buildings. They gotta burn shit down to create physical artifices to match what you divinely and naturally are. So why would we have to study 35 to 50 years to be what we have naturally been born as? It don't make sense. And anybody trying to con you into saying, oh, well, you got to get knowledge by degrees and you got to walk up the ladder and, you know, you got to ride the goat and all that. All them niggas is devils. I don't care if they got feathers on. I don't care what they talking about. Because if they're not trying to bring out the inner best in you, they are your enemy, your mortal or immortal enemy. And I told you, this vendetta has been going on since the last dispensation of the younger Dryas. There's a book you can get called The Algonquin Conquest of the Mediterranean Region, 11,500, by a dude named Samuel Poe. There's another book called The History of the Historical History of the Invasions in both Bogota, Colombia, and Talamesca, which is Florida. And it's all about how we have been repelling invasions from the lower dimensions for millennia. So the truest battle that we are dealing with is a battle of self, the higher and the lower self. If you let these demons con you into believing that they can give you knowledge that you can't get yourself, you've already lost.
Absolutely.
Do so at houseofel@hotmail.com. Like I said, honest to all of the Moors, all of the elders in the conscious community that have gone on and all of that, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, if we haven't dispelled any of the myths already, that means y'all niggas want to be misled at this point.
No, indeed, man. I want to thank y'all for coming on the show, dropping it, giving us some information, giving us that talk. Once again, Selena, thank you for the products, for the community. Definitely benefiting from it. I want to do y'all deal with the cigars? Y'all deal with cigars?
Yeah.
Listen, man. I'm the tobacco chief in town, man. I got from Honduras. Listen, I get them from Honduras now.
I would
love it.
I would love to.
Selena, listen, 100% tobacco, none of the bullshit, nothing at all. People have been. You talk about testimonials, amazing testimonials. Listen,
I'm gonna call you tomorrow.
Word, let's do that, man.
Whatever your PO box, I got. Listen, I got y'all. I got these. They're hand rolled. I said natural, real joint. I went there in November was the last time I went and got some. But yo, I'm telling you, this is like next level. I said.
Love it, brother.
But yeah, listen, I got y'all. I'm gonna send y'all some.
Tobacco is knocking out the COVID jab, man. That's helping people, man. That's the low key secret on that shit. That nigga.
I've been telling people like the white community, they've been up on that. They've been up on that. You know what I'm saying? They've been talking about that. For whatever reason, we didn't get the memo.
Nah, telling them you're gonna get mouth cancer and all this bullshit. But then you seeing old people, old women in Cuba, like 100 years old, smoking and shit. No problem. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm in full support of that.
Let's do it.
Indeed. I listen, I got y'all. Once again, thank you so much. Leave your websites one more time for the family.
I will.
I'll go first.
I will. CordobaOrganics.com. www.CORD as in David, O, B as in boy, A, Organics, ORGANICS.com.
Word. And www.aseertheduketears.com. All of my links is there. Definitely subscribe to the ADOT app. One of the greatest, one of the only Moorish, 100% Moorish fueled app on the App Store and Google Store right now. You can definitely get it. Please subscribe. Check us out. And all my links is there. So anything you want to hit me with is there. Also, if you can, please subscribe to our YouTube pages, which is Selena Cordoba L. And mine is Aseer the Duke of Tears. Aseer the Duke of Tears on YouTube. Please subscribe, man. They've been throttling our numbers for over since I've been on it. Somebody just
came to us and was like, "Yo, I work for YouTube, and I've definitely noticed a shadow ban." Regardless if it is or not, this is why I'm grateful for platforms like this that allow to spread.
Support the homies.
Indeed.
To spread because on YouTube, there's an indication that actual work is getting done.
That's right.
Somebody said to me, "Look, if you always on Instagram, your business probably ain't popping." And I don't have time.
Yeah, I don't even have TikTok, Instagram. I don't have none of that.
Want to be able to get everybody's stuff out, and just true testimonials have been so humbling. I'm definitely going to try to share more testimonials and stuff like that. But just even the other day, his son's girlfriend called me, and she was like, "Yo, my boyfriend was here, Aries was here, and I was using the foil, and I have such bad." She said, "My skin is healed in 3 days. Like I got it." And so she ordered, and I want to thank people like that just try stuff outside of their norm or their comfort zone. She said, "I've tried everything, and my skin, the bumps have gone down in 3 days of this young man being here." And that's the Foy product, the Fountain of Youth. Same thing with the Dew, the Daily Enriching Witch Hazel. People have so much. I'm so grateful that pimples are healing and scars are being removed.
Yeah, we're removing mental death and power, man. It's all we got. So we got to start really work together and start to root out the people in our community that's trying to continuously push divisiveness and act like the fact that we're not here and we're not who we are. We can be who we are without any bone of contention or interruption. And anybody's trying to like make it seem something that it's not, again, is your enemy. And we have to really start focusing more on our friends than those of us that's trying to destroy us and get us caught up in all the happening around us.
Yes. And I'm going to talk to y'all tomorrow. I appreciate y'all for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Peace, y'all. Peace.
the empire.
Great.
Right.
Love, brother.
Have a good
Yes,
night.
sir.
Peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Aseer and Selena. What a show. What a show. Aseer was kind of raw tonight, man. He wasn't holding nothing back. He was not holding nothing back. Another great week on the show. Had some real good shows on this week. Shout out to y'all. What's going on with y'all in the chat? I see King Simon there sharing. If you didn't get their website, King Simon is sharing the links for Selena and Aseer, as well as Aseer's Cash App also in the chat. All right. Yeah, but we just had some good shows. Just had the brother Rod Hayes on the other day. Aseer closing out the week. So yeah, great week. Next week will be even better. Got some good shows lined up next week. Shit, man. Indeed. What's going on with y'all in the chat? Oh, for those of y'all who are wondering about the cigars, and I'm gonna send Selena and Aseer. I'm gonna send their cigars out on Monday. Let them the whole community, man. I'm thankful that the community, everybody's giving good testimonies. Brother Yosef gave an amazing testimony the other day. I gotta call Brother Roderick. The dude that he talk about the aliens. I want to ask him how was his experience. I just shared the link in the chat for those who want to donate to get a cigar. But this is beautiful. This is what it's about. In terms of this new paradigm, us creating our own products and services and us supporting each other with our own products and services. And our products and services benefit us. This is they cater to us. They understand our products. We are built a certain way, our skin complexion, our melanin, whatever the case is. We need to use certain products, drink certain waters, or do certain things, be out in the sun a certain amount of time. And I'm thankful that, we could go to each other now. It's more and more and more. Soon we're going to go to each other's supermarkets. Soon we're going to get food buy vegetables from each other. We're going to be able to get everything from each other and not be reliant on the big corporations, who don't have not just black people, but anybody's best interests at heart, because the bottom line is how much money they can make. So all the chemicals that they put in the food or they put in the tobacco, even the cigars that's out there on the market right now, so many chemicals in them, that it's like, I think it's thousands of chemicals. So it is time that we come out with our own products and services, family, and find out what you're good in. And let's take this market back. Let's create this, what we had before, when Aseer talked about before integration, and we was the Harlem Renaissance and we was getting it. We got to go back to that. We definitely got to go back to that. Let's see what y'all we have to purchase and barter with each other. Indeed. We have to purchase and barter from each other. Indeed. So yeah. Them cigars really are awesome. Yeah. No, the cigars is the truth. That's been that it changed the course. It changed the direction of where I was going. Well, like I said, what do you think? I changed the name of my channel. You know what I'm saying? I just started coming up. I figured out my direction I want to go. The next direction I want to take this thing that I'm doing, and just tap it in with the smoke and the cigars, and it helping me getting in that mind frame, that trance state. It's a beautiful thing. So yeah. Y'all like I'm gonna have them Radionics shirt on sale soon. The commercial that I played for y'all, I'm gonna have the Radionics shirt shirts on sale soon. That's going to be a whole movement within itself. So yeah, y'all can stay tuned for that also. Yep. Somebody said I generate electromagnetic energy from the ethers. Excellent. Yeah, oh man, I can't wait to get back in the ocean. Ocean water is a cleanser. Yeah. Can't wait to get back in the ocean. Them cigars had me tapped in. I'm about to spark one up right now. Yeah, me too. I'm definitely sparking one up tonight. Yeah, me too. I will spark one up tonight too. So I'm glad you tapped in. I definitely will be sparking one up. And the donation, the cigars is donation based, and I got I'm building a lot of things behind the scenes, and those who donate $30 or more get a cigar. So just letting you know, because a lot of people I refunded a lot of people. Some people are saying like $7 and shit like that. And if you heard what Selena said, postage is $9. You know what I'm saying? Postage by itself is $9. You know what I'm saying? So just for me to send it to y'all, postage and and everything else, it's gonna come up to about 16 just to do all of that. Put it in the plastic and the envelope and the postage is gonna come up to about 20. So donation for the cigars is $30 or more. I do appreciate those who send, but donations. You can donate whatever you want. I appreciate it, but as far as cigars, $30 or more, that's you get gifted a cigar at that point. So yeah, indeed. King Simon, I definitely got to get you one, my brother. Definitely gotta get you one. Definitely. I forgot you never had one, man. I done Red and Blue got theirs, and I still ain't give Dr. B his. Dr. B serious, wow. I still ain't. I know Dr. B's like, man, Rich ain't give me shit. I still ain't give Dr. B. I'm going to give it Dr. B his by next week. And Dr. B is the one, and damn, now I feel a little bad because Dr. B is the one last year he called me and he put me up on game with the nicotine. And I was like, for real? And he just started giving me the game about nicotine. So I gotta, and that's what sparked the idea in my head to start to look into nicotine products. And eventually I just got connected. It was like, it happened so fast. Like the start of 2025, cigars was the last thing on my mind. I wasn't thinking about that at all. And it just happened so fast. Like Dr. B called me one day, told me that. Then like 3 days later, I talked to this person. Then the next day, this person said, oh, so-and-so just came from out the country and he's in town. Then the next day I found out I could get it from here, from Honduras. And that's how, it was just like destined. It was honestly like destined for me to reconnect with tobacco. I obviously had some type of connection with tobacco in one of my past lives. Because out the blue, it just happened. I always had a thing for cigars. Whenever me and my lady go out the country, I will always get the Cuban cigars. That was like the best tasting cigar to me. So I always had a thing for cigars. But the way it just happened last year, it was like, it's part of my destiny to get reconnected with the tobacco. And I accept that. That's part of my being. I am tobacco chief. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful for that. I see somebody said, can you make the small cigars smaller? I don't make them. The good people in Honduras make them. And I do have smaller ones. I have small ones. Rod Hayes like the smaller ones. When I send Rod Hayes some cigars, he usually gets the smaller ones. So yeah, I got smaller ones. I got the big ones and smaller ones. Somebody said, what he say about nicotine? There's so much research, and Aseer says something about the nicotine. I hope YouTube don't wild on me for that. It's the truth though, but about that thing in 2020 that happened. So y'all could go research that, but there's a whole bunch of information on YouTube, and white people up on game. You know, white people, they be up on the information a lot of times before we do for whatever reason with certain things, and they know about the science of nicotine, and they got a lot of videos out there about nicotine that you can research right now. You know, so I think my daughter's over there out there calling me. I think that's, oh no, that's she doing something else. But yeah. Yeah, man. It's you're the Jabberwocky. Yep. Somebody said, where can we buy the cigar? Well, maybe you just came. It's donation based, and like I said, when you donate to my channel and everything I got going on right now, those who donate $30 or more are gifted a cigar, and I just shared the link once again. And I just shared the link once again in the chat. Those who donate $30 or more, it's a gift, you know. I'll always get donations, you know, but those who donate $30 or more, you get gifted a one of these cigars. Somebody said I donated a couple of months ago and have not received it. You would have to email me. I don't know what's going on. You should have. You would have to email me. Some people say that, and sometimes I've missed a few. Sometimes it's on the people's end. Sometimes, you know, I don't know. But I just left my email. I will look into it immediately tonight, because that shouldn't be the case at all. Yeah, but definitely email me tonight if that's the case, and I'll see what's going on. But you know, everybody who has gotten the cigars, the Garifuna people, Garifuna. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, the good folks, the African brother and sisters over there in Honduras. You know, they personally rolled. Yep. Personally rolled. All right, have a good night, King Simon. Have a good night. I'm just answering a couple of more questions in the chat. It's Friday night. You know what I'm saying? Are they personally rolled by you? No, they're not. No, they're not personally rolled by me. No. What if I want to? It just depends on, you know, how much you send. You know, people, I mean, yeah, it just depends on how much you spent. Yeah, somebody said, you know, I sent 35 and got 2 cigars. Yeah, you know, just, you know, it just depends on, you know. But I received my cigar and would like to leave a testimony. What's your testimony, Golden Sun Kiss? How was it for you? I hope it wasn't hope you had a good experience. Somebody asked, how do they smell? Very earthy, very earthy, very, very earthy. Yeah, very, very earthy, I would say. I'm trying to figure out the word, because I know the feeling. As soon as you say how do they smell, I know the feeling I get. I gotta think of all I can say right now is earthy, but I don't know the exact word I would use to describe, you know. Earth tone Zen Zone cigar. Yep. Zen Zone. They definitely leave you in that Zen state. Definitely. Y'all still in Egypt 2027? I'm not sure yet. I was talking to the family about that a couple of shows ago. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let y'all know real soon. I'm not sure. I enjoy my cigar very much. Can we request smaller ones next door? Yeah, just put that in a note. If you want the smaller ones, put that in the notes. And I gotta make sure next time I go to Honduras, yeah, definitely put that in a note. Yeah, I would say sacred. That's a good one. That is good. How can you taste sacred? I don't even know how to describe that, but that is a good one. Woo, that is perfect. That's perfect. They taste sacred. You would never associate sacred with a taste, but that is because I just say, yo, how would I know it's a certain word to describe it. They taste sacred. They do. And ancient. The words that were used to describe how they smell and how they taste aren't words we use to describe foods, if that makes sense. The words we use to describe like foods and perfumes are not words that were used for tobacco to describe the taste or the smell. That is beautiful to say something tastes sacred. That is a beautiful way to describe that. It's a beautiful way to describe that, and that's perfect. Yeah, I'm running with that. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that from now because I knew it was a word. I knew it was a word. I definitely knew it was a word. Somebody said, "Do you get downloads during the smoking session?" 100% yes. 100% yes. It was a beautiful memory, a beautiful experience I had with a session. I remember me and Cambada rolled one up. It was me, Cambada, and Blue Pill, and we had one in the studio. And I got a single coming out. I got a compilation album coming out, and we was on them cigars that night, and I was just in the zone. Like I don't even remember making the beat. I was just in the zone. Oh, I love making music. Music is the easiest way for me to get in the flow state. It's the easiest way for me to get in trance. And the cigars just put me in that state. And I made something like, wow, amazing. I got downloaded certain music, but yeah, it's download heaven with the cigars. It's download heaven. And not only that, your prayers get answered. So if you're able to send messages, your messages gets delivered. I'm not saying your message ain't gonna get delivered without it, but it's something about the smoke. And when you send a message to the ethers with the smoke, it's something that's powerful about it that I don't even know how to explain. What do you think about J. Cole's new song? I did not hear it. I heard he's coming out with a new album. I did not hear it yet. I did not hear it yet. I will listen to it tonight, though. I will listen to it tonight. I will definitely listen to it tonight. Somebody said leaves no irritable odors on your clothes or in the house like other tobacco. Yeah, that's because it don't have any of the any of them chemicals. Yeah, the smoke is beautiful. Yeah, when you blow this smoke, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It is translucent. It's beautiful. It's you could just get stuck. You could just get mesmerized by the smoke. It's funny, when I was last time I was in the studio with Blue Pill, I told him, I was like, yo, just look at the smoke. Like, you know how you look at a flower and you appreciate the beauty in the flower? You will just appreciate the beauty in the smoke in the air. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And you see, I've seen my uncle used to smoke cigarettes, so I know that thick. It's like a polluted smoke. When people who smoke cigarettes, and they blow the smoke, it's like a polluted smoke. It's cloudy. It's very, very cloudy. This smoke is beautiful. It's like the brother said, translucent. It's beauty. It's not cloudy at all. Like you could just look at it and be like, wow. And that's how you get in a trance. You get in a trance by just looking at the smokes a lot of times. It tells a story. It's art. It's definitely art. and it spirals like you when you blow the smoke, it spirals so beautifully. It spirals so beautifully in the air. It just spirals so beautifully in the air. It's like poetry in motion. It's art in motion, and it's just spiraling. And then it like it forms a shape. It spirals, it spirals, it spirals. Then it forms a shape, and then it just sits there, and it's like a holographic screen, and you're just like there, like you're just glued to it, and it's just something you got to experience. But like I said, I grew up with my uncle around. He wasn't around a lot, but I remember cigarette smoke. I never smoked cigarettes. Not a day in my life, but I remember distinctly all the time the smoke and how thick it would be and how cloudy it would be. And this is just nothing like it. It's just nothing like it. But man, what else y'all talking about? Y'all got me talking about tobacco a lot tonight. Somebody say, yeah, tobacco is a master healing herb. It has many medicinal benefits. It complements other medicines such as ayahuasca. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody said I don't see it's donation based. Y'all must be just coming in because I done said like mad times. It's donation based. This is the link. For those who donate, for those who just came in or still don't know, those who donate $30 or more to the PayPal, you get gifted a cigar or cigars, depending on how much you donate. Yeah, shout out to Top Cats, man. I gotta get Top Cats back on here. What about weed? Do I smoke it? Is that what you asking? Yeah, sometimes, not a lot. I'm not big into weed, but I'll smoke it sometime. Socially, not at all. I don't smoke weed socially at all. I'm 0% interested in socially smoking weed or smoking weed just to relax. If I smoke it, it's for ceremonial purposes. That's the only time I engage with that is for ceremonial purposes. And actually, the last I do this is I ain't gonna show that, but ceremonial purposes. Other than that, I'm not really interested. I've never been into cigarettes or weed or anything like that. Nah, never been into that. Pardon me. I guess I'm about to get out of here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Great, amazing show. Let me see what else y'all talking about. Somebody said one puff. I felt it slowly, but quickly go to my toes. Felt it move seriously. Yeah. Spark the cigar outside while looking at sky. Light, love, peace, and high. Yep. Peace, love, and light. Indeed. This is good at reading your testimonies here because I lit one a few days ago at my altar and asked my ancestors for help on something I was searching for. I then blew on my computer. A little while later, I found my great-great-grandmother. Yeah, things like that happen. Listen, man. Like I said, you send a message out there. It has a way of answering whatever questions you have. And I got to get somebody who really knows how to explain what's going on. Because, like I said, it's something I can't even totally explain, but it's Yeah, I heard you talking about Top Cat's song. Yeah, I heard the Top Cat song. Well, the beat I made that I'm talking about off the tobacco with me and Cam was in the studio in New York with Blue is inspirational. It's like an inspirational epic song, it's inspirational. I'll tell y'all the name of it. The name of the song is Mount Olympus. I'll tell y'all that much. The name of the song that we came up with that night is Mount Olympus. We'll tell the story. Blue will tell us. Blue was there with his lady too. His lady was there. She seen the whole thing go down. You know what I like? I like when people see the whole thing go down so they know we ain't joking. But yeah, Blue's lady seen the whole thing go down. She'll tell the story one day about how everything went down. Like she was there. She seen the whole thing go down. Blue seen the whole thing go down. They seen how me and Cam just got in our zone. Like it was like magic. Like it's like straight like magic. Yeah. Well, oh, J. Cole, it's his response to K-Doc. Well, hold up, man. J. Cole is responding now to Kendrick Lamar. Oh, man. Oh, man, I got to see what's going on. I got to see what is going on. What is going on in the rap world? How do you use weed for ceremonial purposes, Brother Rich? I'm not going to get into all that right now. I ain't going to get in there right now. You should already heard about how people use, things for ceremonial purposes, but nah, that's not for YouTube per se. For me, I'm not getting, maybe one day, but I'm not getting into all of that right now. But people know what goes down ceremonial. You get into your meditation. Everybody has their own way of getting into a ceremony. Somebody said link to donate. Are y'all not seeing the link? Because I think you commented earlier. You're not seeing the link? You're not seeing. I shared the link. You're not seeing it? You're not seeing it? Oh man. Oh nah, Mount Olympus was Big Crit response. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I didn't even know that. Okay. Yeah, I can agree. Cigar is magical. Yep. Okay, yeah. Thanks for clearing that up. Okay. I was about to say, like, that sounded strange. Like, damn, J. Cole, because J. Cole backed out of it. So I was like, okay. But okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, but okay, family. I'm going to get out of here. And I will see y'all again on Monday, all right? Unless I do like an outside show or something during the weekend. But other than that, I will see y'all again on Monday. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for tuning in this week. It's been a good week. I hope everybody's year has started out good. And not good, great, amazing. And yeah, let's really stay tapped in on a high frequency this year, family. All right. Got a lot of great things coming to the channel. Other than that, just looking to see if I got anything else I want to tell y'all. You always got stuff hanging around. Other than that, have a great weekend. As Blue Pill will say, strong end. And I will see y'all Monday, all right? All right. You see the shirt, what's in my pocket, dog. Big face. Shout out to the Big Face Hunted gang out there. Big Face Hunted gang out there. Yo, Red is shout out to Red Pill. Red Pill's in Colombia right now. Red Pill is in Colombia right now doing his thing. I just seen a video of his. Shout out to Ghost, G Host. He out there with G Host. They out there doing their thing in Colombia. So I look forward to him posting another video. I want to see what's going on out there. It's always good to I like seeing what's going on in other countries, things like that. See how people live in. Shout out to everybody all over the world and the different countries. We all play a role in this matrix. We all have things that we are supposed to be doing, and let's just stay tapped in wherever we are, whether we are in Americas, South America, North America, whether we're in Asia, whether we're in Europe, whether we're in Africa, Australia, wherever we are, you know, there's high frequency beings everywhere globally, and there's low frequency beings everywhere globally. And my goal is to tap in with the high frequency beings globally on this planet. And that's my tribe. When you vibrate on that love frequency, and you can find love in the strangest places that you may not have imagined. And I just want all of us to first love ourselves. And if we can love ourselves, then we won't be worried about hating anybody else. It's not worth your aura to hate. Forget anything else. It's not worth your aura to hate anybody. And I understand we all got things that we've been through in our life that may make us dislike a certain person or a certain group of people, but we can't afford to deplete our aura with that emotion of hate, with that emotion of envy, with that emotion of jealousy. Even if folks are jealous, you know, I hear Rod and Aseer and all of them will tell you about, you know, these dirty Moors and all of that, you know, and how we defeat that low vibrational energy is to be the best gods we could be. You know, I'm gonna be a supreme being. I just got this hat. Damn, I wish I had a hat. Shout out to this website Nubia. I just ordered some merch from them. I had this hat. I'm gonna wear it next show. The supreme being hat. You know, but we are supreme beings. Somebody said, how do you work on hate? By loving yourself. First, knowing thyself. When you know thyself, you find out who you are. You tap into your intuition, your likes. You know, there's something. Your name is beautiful right there, but there's something extremely beautiful about you that only you could do. And you know, you get passionate about that. Tap into that. You fall in love with yourself. You got so much love for yourself. You don't have enough energy to hate anybody. When they told us not to be selfish, that was a trick in a way. They kind of tricked us. You got to be selfish in esoteric way, and in a way in which you're discovering who you are. You know, become infatuated with yourself that way. You know, we unstoppable. We are unstoppable. You know, I love me and where I come from, and I love being a Black American. I love being from Harlem. I love being from Harlem. I love that. And that's just a role. You know, obviously I'm a holographic projection, but I love that experience. I love that holographic projection. That's a great experience. You know, I'm etheric, but that holographic experience of me being from Harlem, New York, you know, it's a great one. I love that story. I appreciate it. I'm glad I got to live this movie role. You know, that's an amazing movie role right there. You know, I got to say, I would to get to say I was born in the Mecca of consciousness, Black consciousness. That's a great movie role. I love that movie role. I was born, so I was destined to do what I'm doing now because my soul incarnated in a place that was going to prepare me for this. I incarnated in a city that was going to prepare me for exactly what I'm doing right now. I was surrounded by the Nation of Islam, the Nuwabians, the 5%ers, brothers like Azariah, all the brothers, anything, all the consciousness. I was surrounded by all the consciousness, and I embraced and I tapped into a little bit of all of it. And I became who I am today. I never joined an organization, never belonged to no organization. There's nothing wrong with that. The Moors, let me not leave the Moors out. The Moors was out there. But yeah. Somebody said you got to get Billy to smoke one. Yeah, I don't think Billy. Nah, you know, Billy, that ain't Billy's vibe. You know, you gotta let people be who they are. That ain't Billy's vibe. You know, that ain't Billy's vibe right there. Billy ain't a smoker or a drinker. Billy's clean cut. You know, he don't. Y'all know Billy's style. Shout out to Billy. Wonderful soul. Billy's a wonderful soul. If you knew him personally, you would know he's a wonderful soul. I always tell people he has his way of doing things, just like I have my way of doing things, you know. And I would never try to change anybody's way of doing things. I appreciate our differences, you know. Yeah, shout out the 116th African market. Oh, they closed it? Wow, they closed the 116 African market. Wow. That's been around for so long. Wow, that's been around for so long. Wow. Oh man, I done got so many white t-shirts from over there when I was young. Wow. Wow, amazing. Shout out to my brother Aseer. I see he text me. Yeah, shout out to you, my brother Aseer. Shout out to you. You've been doing it for a long time. Him and Celine have been doing it for a long time. They've been together for a long time. And I love to see black couples. When you talk about that nuclear family, a lot of people don't want to see that. And a lot of people don't want to admit that that is the key. But that is the key to us going to that next level, that black nuclear family. So if you have one, do what you can to maintain it. If you don't have one, it's all good. Just be the best you could be in this realm. You know, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I'm I have a family that, at home I get to wake up with my children. I get to wake up with my significant other, my loved one, my lady. And that's a beautiful thing. Will it last forever? We don't know we don't know, but we appreciate it while it's here. And yeah, man, I just, I hope everybody could tap into that energy of family, because that's what it's about. That's what inspires a lot of the great men to be great men, is to when they have families to take care of. We wake up early because we know we got to take care of our family. We go to bed late working because we know we got, it gives us purpose. A man needs purpose, and family gives a man purpose. Family definitely gives a man purpose. Family definitely gives a man purpose. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said Rich look tired as fuck. A little bit, not a lot. I'm just on chill mode. It is 12 o'clock. Shit, I've been on here almost 3 hours. So yeah, maybe I am a little tired. Yeah. But yeah, it is 12 o'clock. Damn, it's 12. Y'all got me on here answer. Oh, real quick, one last thing before I get out of here. I know you said it's all based on what the brother chooses to do, but any update on the L Ancestral Biotonic Tonic? Yeah, I talked to Mr. G today, matter of fact. He texted me today. What did he text? He just texted me. He's in Honduras right now. I would say February, the very beginning of February. I would say the very beginning of February. Here we'll have some important information. Like I said, listen, family, I would encourage y'all to start your YouTube channels if y'all want to get involved in media and content creation, because YouTube, regardless of, even if you have a lot of stuff going on, if you're in content and content creation, definitely get your YouTube channel going now before, I don't know if they might start coming out with weird rules or something, but start growing it now. Get your products and services, family, out there. We all are geniuses and we all have something to offer. I may have cigars, my spirit resonates with the spirit of tobacco. Selena is the best at products, beauty products, all that whole product line. She's the best at that. She got some of the best products in the world, not just the black community. We're not going to minimize our people. She has some of the best products in the world. So we're all geniuses at something, and we all, I see as one of the best teachers that have been around for the last 20 years. So we all have great products and services that we offer, and it's just dope to tap into that. And yes, I did say, yeah, hands down, it's the best drink out there. Y'all gonna find out. I'm talking about hands down. I'm talking about hands down, the best drink out there. Hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. My favorite drink out there. Oh, wait till y'all taste it. Wait till he shows y'all how it's made. Wait till he show y'all the thermal waters and all of that. I'm talking about the whole thermal water. I'm talking about all types of ish is put into that. It's like heaven in a bottle. I'll be having one of those with the cigars. Listen, yo. Man, we got a lot of good things lined up ahead, in the future for us. And that's why I just stress the signal over noise, because there's too much good going on in the etheric realm, and there's too much good hitting the planet for us to be concentrated on the noise. And there's a lot of noise in social media. Shout out to New Diamond. She says she hit 7,000. That's big. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about on her YouTube subscribers. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Make sure y'all focus on your businesses. Even if y'all got jobs, it don't matter. You don't have to, you do what you got to do, but I'm not on Discord, right? Well, I got Discords going on, but I'm not starting a Discord for the Carbon Code Collective, because I'll be on here for half an hour more if I explain that, but I'll get into that. But we got to create our own ish. So there's a lot of things I'm creating right now where I don't want to be on Discord. I don't want to be on every platform that they create moving forward. I want my own platforms, or I want to support people who are going to help what we got going on platforms. So yeah, that's it's coming real soon. There's so much coming real soon. Wait to hit, y'all. Somebody said I'm pulling on the cigar right now, thanks to brother Yosef, my chief. Yeah, your brother Yosef gave the cigars a big shout out. He was like, yo, it's the best out there. He gave it a bit. And brother Yosef, he's serious about it. He ain't gonna just say that to say that. He's serious about his spiritual work. I gotta send him out some next week. Also, I'm gonna share this link one last time before I get out of here. You could donate to see what we're talking about with the cigars. But man, it's just so many good products and services coming out for my people. We're geniuses. Half the things we use in a home, we invented. You know what I'm saying? When you go on the street, whether it's the traffic light, the air conditioner, the broom, all types of stuff, street sweeper, we invented half the things the world utilizes to this day. So we are very creative people. I don't know what we went to sleep. We got caught under a spell. We went to sleep, but we are awake now, and we are remembering the integrity of your aura is the most important thing in the world. Yeah, a little bit of gatekeeping is definitely necessary. Yep, a little bit of gatekeeping. Yep, you're absolutely right. A lot of gatekeeping at this time is necessary with what we getting ready to come out with. So yeah, indeed. But listen, y'all, appreciate y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on Monday, right? Everybody have a good night. It's been fun. It's been fun tonight. It's been fun this week. It's been fun this year so far. We started out pretty hot. So we gonna keep this thing going the whole year, and we gonna keep turning up. We gonna turn up the volume. We gonna just keep turning up. Somebody said, bro, can the cigars make it to Montreal without issues? Yeah, that's Canada, right? Yeah, it can make it to Canada. Yeah. Yeah. You just reminded me, I got to send on somebody in Canada something now. I'm going to send it on. Yeah, I just thought about somebody in Canada. And so, yeah. All right, family. I will see y'all. Peace. Blessings.